Chapter 586. Wang Feng was furious. He had used his ultimate skill, but he couldn't kill a brat at the mid-stage of the spirit-detecting realm. This made him lose all face. Therefore, he no longer held back and decided to kill Lin Feng with all his strength. With that, he raised his left hand and formed the clear wind bow again. An even more violent aura spread out, and the shadow of the bow became even more solid. Clear wind bow. It's an ultimate skill, but it's a waste in your hands. Lin Xian's contemptuous voice came from the sky and clearly spread out in all directions. Everyone was shocked once more. Lin Xian's words seemed to confirm the power of the clear wind bow, but there was another meaning in his tone. It was disdain. He was actually looking down on Wang Feng. Everyone was shocked and felt like this wasn't real. Who was Wang Feng? He was a peak stage spirit-detecting realm cultivator and a genius of the Wang family. He also had an ancient ultimate skill like the clear wind bow, so his battle strength was extremely strong. However, such a genius was being looked down on by someone. Wang Feng's face became even more gloomy. No one had ever dared to look down on him since he became famous, but now this little thief dared to speak such arrogant words. He couldn't stand it. His black hair danced in the wind as he let out a roar. He crazily circulated his spirit force and pushed the concept of wind to the extreme. The clear wind bow in his hand became even more solid. If you still don't believe me, then I'll let you see what a true son of wind domain is. Lin Xian's voice was cold. The next moment, he also raised his left hand and circulated the concept of wind. A green aura quickly circulated in his hand and gradually condensed. A green shadow quickly appeared and gradually became solid. Soon, a green bow appeared in his hand. The aura it gave off was exactly the same as the clear wind bow in Wang Feng's hand. What? Lin Xian also knows the clear wind bow. Everyone was stunned and dumbfounded. Wang Feng was even more shocked. He even began to doubt himself. Lin Feng actually knew his ultimate skill? How was this possible? It has to be said that his ultimate skill was something he had obtained by chance in an ancient ruin. He had been studying it all these years and hadn't spread it to anyone else. Even the people in his family didn't know how to use it. However, the brat in front of him had actually used his ultimate skill. This was too shocking. Illusion. It must be an illusion. This brat is using illusions to confuse my mind and make me reveal a flaw so that he can make a move. Wang Feng guessed. Then he shouted loudly, "Brat, don't think that you can mess with my mind just because you used an illusion to create the appearance of the clear wind bow. I will show you what a true ancient lost art is. You, on the other hand, are just a facade." After hearing Wang Feng's angry roar, everyone realized that it was just an illusion. "You scare me to death." So, it was an illusion. I thought that he had also learned the clear wind bow. That's right, it was really a false alarm. The clear wind bow is an ancient lost skill. How could other people know it? Everyone heaved a sigh of relief and prepared to watch what would happen next. The expressions of the Wang clan's members were not very good. Regardless of whether it was the clear wind bow or not, the strength that the other party had displayed had already made their Wang clan look bad. If they couldn't take down Lin Xian this time, their Wang clan's reputation would suffer greatly. In the VIP seating area, MT Blackwood's expression turned ugly. What bullshit, Wang clan. They can't even take down a middle-stage spirit realm brat. What trash. If it was in our Blackwood arena, any martial artist would be able to kill this little bastard. MT Blackwood coldly snorted. The level of the Wang clan's martial artists had disappointed him. At the same time, his killing intent towards Lin Xian became even stronger. The more outstanding Lin Xian's performance was, the more he wanted to kill him. Lin Xian's use of the clear wind bow had shocked everyone. However, they all thought that Lin Xian was only imitating the appearance of the clear wind bow and couldn't display its true power. Wang Feng thought the same. He didn't believe that Lin Xian knew his ultimate skill. However, Lin Xian's actions were undoubtedly a slap to his face. Therefore, he had to quickly kill Lin Xian to prove himself. Holding the clear wind bow in his hand, Wang Feng pushed his strength to the extreme. An arrow that looked like a real arrow quickly formed. This arrow was 3 times more powerful than the previous ones. The huge green arrow was like a green flood that swept out in all directions. The terrifying aura caused everyone to be shocked. This arrow was too stunning. Even a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm would not be able to face it head-on. Looking at the arrow that was rapidly flying towards him, Lin Xian's expression became serious. He tightly gripped the bow in his hand and pulled it back. The wind-sun concept crazily revolved, and a green arrow appeared in his hand. Lin Xian didn't know the ultimate skill of the clear wind bow, but he had the great dragon sword spirit. It was an offensive saint technique that could imitate anything. Therefore, he could easily imitate the appearance of the clear wind bow. Even the patterns on it were exactly the same. Lin Xian discovered that the arrow imitated by the patterns contained a mysterious power. It was as if it was naturally there. Therefore, when Lin Xian imitated the clear wind bow with the great dragon sword spirit, its power was not inferior to Wang Feng's. It was even stronger. Moreover, with the addition of the great dragon sword spirit, Lin Xian's attack power far surpassed Wang Feng's. Therefore, when Lin Xian condensed the green arrow, the surrounding crowd was in an uproar. They could feel that the arrow condensed by Lin Xian was even stronger than Wang Feng's. Comparing the two, it was as if Lin Xian's clear wind bow was the true ancient technique. Impossible! How can he have such a powerful aura? Wang Feng looked at the figure in the air and cried out in shock. It was too shocking. The clear wind bow that Lin Xian used was even stronger than his. He couldn't believe it. It had to be known that he had truly grasped the ancient technique. His opponent was only imitating it. Little thief, even now you still want to use an illusion to deceive me. How laughable! Wang Feng clenched his teeth and said, "Illusion?" Lin Xian chuckled. "You'll soon find out whether or not this is an illusion." Hearing Lin Xian's words, Wang Feng's expression became very ugly. Cold sweat even dripped down his forehead. This aura was too strong, causing his body to tremble slightly. It was obvious that this wasn't an illusion. However, he didn't believe that the other party could surpass him. Therefore, in his subconscious, he would rather believe that everything Lin Xian did was an illusion to deceive him. If he didn't think so, he wouldn't be able to bear it. He would probably go crazy immediately. Die for me! Wang Feng loosened his grip. The bow in his hand shone, and it turned into an aurora as it quickly flew out. This arrow contained all of his strength and endless killing intent. He wanted to kill this hateful brat in front of him. Only then could he relieve the hatred in his heart. Humph! Today, I will let you see what the true concept of wind is. Lin Xian's voice was cold. He also launched an attack. An even larger arrow fell from the sky like a green meteor, quickly crashing into the ground. The two forces were too strong. Sun Jian tore the void apart, and countless violent currents swept out in all directions. Fortunately, there was a defensive array around the stage. Otherwise, everyone in the arena would have been injured by this green aura. Everyone was shocked and looked nervously at the martial stage. The two of them were too strong. They weren't people they could contend against. They couldn't even withstand that aura. Pung! The two enormous forces collided and exploded with a green light. It instantly enveloped the entire stage. The violent waves of power hit the defensive array, causing a loud explosion. Suddenly, the entire stage was in chaos. There were violent auras everywhere. In the end, it was covered by the green light. Chapter 587. The entire arena was instantly submerged by the azure aura. Everyone waited nervously, wanting to know the result of the battle. In particular, the people of the Wang family were so nervous that they were covered in cold sweat. They had long lost their previous calmness and were now filled with panic. Lin Xian's performance was too powerful. Not only did he use an ancient skill like the clear wind bow, but his power was even stronger than Wang Feng's. So they had no confidence at all. They could only pray that luck favored their Wang family. Nan, Gongsheng, and the Black Pearl were also filled with anticipation. Their expression showed that they completely believed in Lin Xian's strength. Time passed by slowly. At this moment, the green airflow on the arena was raging wildly. It was incomparably violent and showed no signs of weakening. The red-robed referee gloomily stared at the arena. Then he took out a disc and quickly controlled the defensive formation. The formation changed, creating a force that blew away the azure aura. Suddenly, the scene on the arena became clear. Everyone was nervous and focused on the arena. They knew that the result would be out soon. But when they saw the result, they were still stunned. On the arena, Lin Xian had a calm expression. He stood with his hands behind his back like a god of war. As for Wang Feng, he was half kneeling on the ground. His body was constantly trembling, and there was a bloody hole in his shoulder. That cave was very terrifying. If it had been a bit further away, his heart would have been injured. Not only was Wang Feng's body injured, but his mind had also collapsed. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. I'm clearly the only one who knows the true primordial lost art. How could you possibly use it? Wang Feng roared like a madman. He couldn't believe that a mid-stage spirit-detecting brat could injure him. Moreover, he had used the same ancient skill as him. This was naked ridicule, but he was powerless to fight back. He could only endure it. Now he was even a bit angry. Why did his family send him out? Wouldn't it be better to send a peak spirit-detecting cultivator? Not only would he be able to preserve his family's reputation, but he wouldn't have to lose face. And now it wouldn't be long before he became the laughingstock of Quicksand City. HHH, I'll kill you. Wang Feng howled like a wounded beast. His eyes were bloodshot as he glared viciously at Lin Xian, as if he wanted to pierce through him. In the next moment, he suddenly burst forth, burning all of his spiritual energy to unleash his strongest attack. He was overestimating himself. Lin Xian snorted coldly and disappeared in a flash. Then he appeared beside Wang Feng and slapped Wang Feng's face, sending him flying. Wang Feng smashed into the defense and fell to the ground. His face was almost rotten, and his teeth were broken. When the red-robed judge saw this, he immediately shouted out in anger, "Stop!" He stared at Lin Xian, emitting a cold aura. The red-robed judge was an expert at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm and was abnormally powerful. As soon as his aura appeared, it enveloped the entire dueling ground. It was as if a sharp blade had appeared in the surroundings, ready to fall at any moment. Everyone was trembling as they watched on nervously. If the red packet-robed judge were to make a move, Lin Xuehui would probably lose his life on the spot. Nan, Gongsheng, and the Black Pearl were also nervous. They paid close attention, ready to reveal their identities at any moment to save Lin Xian. However, when Lin Xian felt the red-robed judge's cold gaze and sharp killing intent, he only smiled indifferently. On the stage, life and death are up to fate. I was just defending myself. What? Did you forget the rules of the dueling ground and want to attack me? Lin Xian said in a deep voice. His voice was very clear and spread out in all directions. Humph! The red-robed judge's gaze was gloomy as he stared at Lin Xian. He wanted to attack several times, but he restrained himself in the end. He really wanted to slap Lin Xian to death, but the rules of the dueling ground prevented him from doing so. If he really killed Lin Xian, then his Wang family's dueling ground would no longer be open because no martial artist would dare to come here in the future. No one would come to a dueling ground that killed a contestant. With a cold snort, the red-robed judge withdrew his aura, but his cold gaze was still fixed on Lin Xian. In his eyes, Lin Xian was already a dead man. No matter what the result was, he had to get rid of this scourge in front of him. Feeling the red-robed judge's killing intent, Lin Xian sneered in his heart. A peak spirit detecting realm expert was very strong, but he had killed more than one of them. If the Wang family dared to kill him, he would mind killing them. Moreover, the red-robed judge's actions had strengthened his conviction. He had to destroy the Wang family's dueling ground. "Someone come, take Wang Feng away for treatment," the red-robed judge said in a deep voice. Immediately, 4 Wang family disciples quickly came to the stage and carried Wang Feng away. Only then did everyone recover from their shock. Cries of surprise could be heard all around. Lin Xian had actually obtained 7 consecutive victories. His opponent this time was very strong, but he still wasn't a match for Lin Xian. Heavens! This Lin Xian is too terrifying. He even defeated Wang Feng. Damn! Does this Lin Xian know any ancient techniques? Why do I feel that his clear wind bow is much stronger than Wang Feng's? There are only 3 more matches before he can obtain 10 consecutive victories. I wonder if he can succeed? It will be very difficult. The Wang family won't let him obtain 10 consecutive victories. Yes, although Wang Feng is strong, he isn't the top genius of the Wang family. There are still 2 or 3 peerless geniuses above him. Those people will probably ruthlessly attack him. Moreover, the Wang family had a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. It was impossible for them to achieve 10 consecutive victories. However, 7 consecutive victories is already very terrifying. The rewards are very generous. Even a peak spirit-detecting realm expert would be jealous. Everyone discussed and analyzed the upcoming matches. Nan Gongseng and Black Pearl were overjoyed, especially Black Pearl. She was so happy that she was dancing. This time, her spirit stones had increased by several times. She was simply too happy. Nan Gongseng took a deep breath. His eyes flickered. Even if he couldn't recruit a genius like Lin Xian into his family, he had to establish a good relationship with him. He decided that if Lin Xian was in danger, he would immediately reveal his identity as a member of the Nan Gongseng and protect him. He knew that the Wang family wouldn't give up so easily. In the VIP seats, Blackwood Mountain's face was ashen. He crushed the exquisite wine cup, and the spirit wine instantly evaporated. This brat must be eliminated. Blackwood Mountain decided to quickly contact the experts in his family to secretly eliminate Lin Xian. If his Blackwood Mountain couldn't obtain such a genius, he definitely couldn't allow other powers to obtain him. The Wang family members were like vicious wolves. They fiercely stared at Lin Xian. They wished they could kill him. However, their anger quickly turned into shock, and in the end, fear. Chapter 588. Not long after, Lin Xian defeated 2 more geniuses from the Wang family and obtained 9 consecutive victories. 9 consecutive victories. How long had it been since such a record had appeared? And now it had happened to a youth at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Everyone was stunned and could not believe it. The faces of the Wang family members were extremely ugly. After Wang Feng, they sent out 2 young experts from their family. These 2 were very strong and were even stronger than Wang Feng. But even so, they still lost to Lin Xian. Lin Xian was like a bottomless pit. No matter how strong the young experts were, he could still win and perform very calmly. The Wang family members were terrified because they found that the stronger the opponent, the stronger Lin Xian became. It was as if there was no upper limit. This was simply too terrifying. Unless the other party's strength was extremely profound, it was impossible for them to do this. But the two martial artists they sent out were very close to the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Even so, they still lost to Lin Xian. This could only mean one thing. Lin Xian's strength was equivalent to a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Understanding this point, everyone gasped in shock. Lin Xian's cultivation was only at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm, but his strength was at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. This gap was too big. Very few people could have this kind of battle strength. At this moment, the way everyone looked at Lin Xian changed. It was a kind of respect. The limit of the spirit-detecting realm represented the extreme power of the spirit-detecting realm. Normal martial artists could not reach it. And the most terrifying thing about Lin Xian was that not only had his strength reached the limit of the spirit-detecting realm, but he was also very young. This kind of talent was too shocking and probably surpassed the majority of martial artists. Even the top geniuses of the Sand region might not be able to compare to Lin Xian. Now, Lin Xian was looking forward to seeing what kind of battle Lin Xian would have if he met a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Thinking of this, they could not wait. However, the members of the Wang family didn't think so. One had to know that they had already sent out all the geniuses of their family, yet they still weren't able to stop Lin Xian's winning streak. They also discovered that Lin Xian's strength was equivalent to a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. This was very bad news for them. It had to be known that the strongest person in the Colosseum was a peak spirit-detecting realm martial artist. This martial artist was extremely valiant. He had always been overseeing the Wang family's battle arena, ensuring that the Wang family's battle arena could develop smoothly and not be challenged by others. Normally, the extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist rarely made a move. Many people didn't even know who he was. Given the current situation, the Wang clan had no choice but to send him out. The elders of the Wang family were discussing countermeasures in a secret room on the second floor. Then they came up with a better plan, which was to negotiate with Lin Xian and ask him to give up his 10 consecutive victories. Then they would send someone to secretly kill Lin Xian. This way, there would be no need for the extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist to make a move. Moreover, they would be able to snatch back the rewards they had lost and get rid of a potential opponent like Lin Xian. It could be said to be killing two birds with one stone. Moreover, unless it was absolutely necessary, they wouldn't let the extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist make a move. This was because the extreme spirit-detecting realm represented the strongest battle power in the Colosseum. It was related to their face and reputation. These people were not allowed to lose. In the past, they weren't worried at all. However, Lin Xian was too strange now. They had to be careful. If they failed miserably, the Wang family would suffer an even greater loss. Therefore, they decided to negotiate with Lin Xian. Soon, these people made a move. The black-robed elder began to transmit his voice to Lin Xian. "Young friend, you have already won 9 consecutive battles. Why don't you stop now? Don't worry, we will give you the rewards for your 9 consecutive victories and the spirit stones that you bet. In addition, we will also give you a big gift as compensation. Actually, we don't have to fight at all. Isn't it better to be friends and mutually benefit?" The black-robed elder said. "With 9 consecutive victories, you are already famous. Presumably, it won't be long before the entire Quicksand City knows your name. Isn't this a matter of fame and fortune very fast?" The black-robed elder quickly proposed an attractive price. However, Lin Xian only sneered. If it were any other martial artist facing such an attractive reward, perhaps they would have agreed. However, Lin Xian was different. He didn't challenge the Wang family for fame and resources. Previously, the Wang family disciples had done everything possible to frame him. Of course, he wanted to vent his anger. Therefore, his goal was to destroy the Wang family's Colosseum. Therefore, no matter what price the other party offered, he wouldn't agree. The conditions are very attractive, but I can't agree. I think there is nothing better than 10 consecutive victories to gain both fame and fortune. Lin Xian directly refused. Hearing Lin Xian's refusal, the black-robed elder's face immediately darkened. Kid, don't be too arrogant. Our Wang family has an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. You can't win 10 consecutive battles. At that time, you won't even get a single spirit stone. If you know what's good for you, then agree to my request. Otherwise, your end will be very miserable. The black-robed elder's words were filled with a strong killing intent. No need to threaten me, Lin Xian sneered. If you were confident, then just do it. Why negotiate with me here? Since you want to negotiate, that means you don't have any confidence. A martial artist who doesn't even have confidence in himself isn't worthy of being my opponent. Lin Xian's voice was cold and even had a trace of mockery. It wasn't that he was arrogant, but that his strength had indeed surpassed an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. Therefore, he didn't put the Wang family in his eyes. Kid, you're courting death. Just you wait, you'll die a horrible death. The black-robed elder snorted. Since the negotiations had broken down, then there was no need to hold back. He would inform the extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist to quickly kill the other party. Soon, a youth walked onto the stage. This youth looked ordinary, but his expression was somewhat cold, especially his eyes, which were like sharp swords that could pierce through people. Moreover, there was an extremely violent aura on his body that seemed to be able to crush everything around him. When this aura appeared, the surrounding people immediately tensed up and couldn't breathe. This was the aura of an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. It could crush any extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. This was the power of an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. Just a strand of his aura could suppress his opponent. How terrifying! Just a strand of his aura could instantly kill his opponent. How could they fight? Everyone was terrified. An extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist was too terrifying. They didn't dare to make an enemy of him. Perhaps only Lin Xian dared to challenge an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. No one else had the guts. The gloomy young man looked at Lin Xian with a look of disdain. You're the martial artist with 9 consecutive victories? I heard that you can fight above your level, and your strength is comparable to an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist? Humph! I'll let you know the difference between you and a true extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist. Chapter 589. The gloomy youth's words were filled with killing intent. He had been in charge of the Wang family's arena for many years and had always lived in peace. He didn't expect someone to be so reckless as to challenge him today. It had even alarmed him in the end. He originally thought it would be another genius expert at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm, but he didn't expect it to be a mid-stage spirit-detecting realm brat. The gloomy youth had already received orders from the Wang family's elder to not hold back and kill his opponent. Therefore, he looked at Lin Xian as if he was looking at a dead person. Brat, you should be proud of your 9 consecutive victories, but it's important to know your own limits. Since you don't know how to appreciate favors and want 10 consecutive victories, I'll let you know what regret is. The gloomy youth, Huashao, stared at Lin Xian with a gloomy expression. Then his figure flickered, and he quickly charged out like a shadow. With one step, he was like a bolt of lightning and instantly arrived in front of Lin Xian. He raised his right hand high, and his arm was like a blade. It flickered with a sharp light as it quickly slashed down. A resplendent blade light flashed like a cold moonlight enveloping Lin Xian. Although Huashao looked down on Lin Xian, he didn't hold back at all when he really attacked. After all, his opponent was a martial artist who had obtained 9 consecutive victories. Moreover, he had been warned by the Wang family's elder to use his full strength. Therefore, he didn't plan on holding back from the start. His palm fell like a sharp saber, quickly chopping out. If this saber was hit, it would probably be split in half. Lin Xian's footsteps were light, and he moved with the wind like a willow in the wind. His figure was like a ghost to the extreme. With the concept of wind, Lin Xian's speed had increased by a level. Therefore, he easily dodged Hu Xiao's hand blade. Hu Xiao didn't show any emotion after his attack missed. He moved like a shadow and quickly chased after Lin Xian. Then his 5 fingers formed a claw, condensing into a giant demonic beast claw that quickly grabbed at Lin Xian. Hu Xiao was indeed worthy of being an expert at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm. His mentality, moves, and experience were not something Wang Feng and the others could compare to. Every move he made was stunning. He was able to grasp Lin Xian's weak spots and even predict Lin Xian's path of attack. After the previous matches, he knew that Lin Xian specialized in the concept of wind, which was his advantage in speed. Therefore, he quickly closed in on Lin Xian and engaged in close combat. As long as he could stick close to Lin Xian, he would be able to restrain his speed advantage and win half the battle. The other half would require him to use his experience and strength to find opportunities in battle. If Lin Xian was an ordinary martial artist, then Hu Xiao's strategy was very correct, and there was even a high possibility of success. However, Lin Xian could not be judged by common sense. Even the Wang clan's estimation of Lin Xian's strength was wrong. Lin Xian could use the concept of wind, but it was not his only concept. Apart from that, he also had the concept of thunder and the great dragon's sword spirit. Of course, Lin Xian did not plan to use his full strength. That was because it was very stupid. Moreover, he liked to keep some trump cards and use them at a critical moment. Perhaps they could turn the situation around. However, when he saw Hu Xiao impatiently running over to engage in close combat with him, he still smiled. With a smile, Lin Xian's figure suddenly stopped and stood in the air. Then his body surged with lightning. On his right fist, golden lightning arcs jumped, filled with a violent aura. As he threw out a punch, the sky was filled with golden light. The golden fist quickly enlarged and rushed forward. Boom! It was like 2 mountains had collided. A terrifying sound echoed in all directions. The violent power exploded, and the energy shock waves spread out in all directions like a wave. A dazzling light burst out, so bright that people could not open their eyes. The surrounding crowd was shocked. The 2 of them were too terrifying. The shock waves from the collision shocked them. It was not hard to imagine how much energy the 2 of them had to endure. This was something they did not dare to imagine. This Lin Xian was too powerful. He could actually fight against a spirit-detecting realm martial artist. Was he still human? Genius. He was definitely a genius. That attack just now was too terrifying. Lin Xian could actually control the power of 2 elements. It was too unbelievable. The crowd discussed and exclaimed in their hearts. On the stage, Lin Xian and Hu Xiao collided, and then the 2 of them separated like lightning. Hu Xiao was shocked. He had not held back in that attack, but Lin Xian had been able to block it. This shocked him greatly. Then he let out a long roar. His black hair fluttered as he quickly charged at Lin Xian. Lin Xian also let out a cold snort and quickly met him. The 2 of them exchanged blows once again. Their figures were like lightning as they intertwined with each other. Everyone was dazzled by the scene. They couldn't catch a trace of them at all. They could only see the terrifying energy wave after wave spreading in all directions, followed by the earth-shattering sound. Below, the Wang and Wang family members' expressions were very ugly when they saw the 2 of them entangled. Lin Xian was actually able to fight against a spirit-detecting realm martial artist. This situation was very unfavorable for them. It had to be known that Hu Xiao was the strongest person in their great martial arena. If he could not take down Lin Xian, then no one else could. Unless it was a martial artist from the older generation that made a move. However, if the older generation really did make a move, then the Wong family would become the laughingstock of Quicksand City in half a day. This was because this was a battle between the younger generation. If the older generation made a move, they would definitely be ridiculed. Their Wong family could not afford to lose this face. Therefore, the elders of the older generation could not make a move. They could only place their hopes on the Wong family's #1 young expert, Hu Xiao. Although the two of them seemed to be evenly matched, Hu Xiao's strength and experience far surpassed his opponent. As time passed, he would definitely be able to suppress his opponent, the black-robed elder said, in a deep voice. That's right, Hu Xiao still had not used his ultimate move. It seemed like he was still confident. The Wong family members prayed. On the field, Hu Xiao attacked wildly. Every attack was like a resplendent blade that slashed out in all directions. However, Lin Xian caught all of these ferocious attacks and blasted them back with even more ferocious power. Lin Xian's body released a bright light. Blue arcs of lightning danced like golden dragons, roaring in all directions. Every punch was filled with violent power. The entire void could not withstand it. Moreover, this was only a portion of his strength. Lin Xian did not use any sword arts, nor did he use any sword intent. He was only using the concept of wind and the power of lightning to fight. He was tempering himself, increasing his battle experience and tempering his strength. On the opposite side, Hu Xiao did not know that Lin Xian was suppressing his strength. However, the strength he had displayed so far had already shocked him. He did not intend to hold back anymore. He had to quickly finish off his opponent. The violent spirit energy in his body erupted once more. 10,000 Beast Fist. Hu Xiao roared at the sky and sent out a punch. A layer of blood-red lines appeared on his fist. A fierce aura surged out, as if a peerless beast had awakened. As his fist danced, a ferocious demonic bear quickly formed in the void. Its huge figure covered the sky. The blood-red demonic bear phantom hammered the ground with both hands and quickly blasted out in all directions. Suddenly, a part of the sky collapsed. Chapter 590. 10,000 Beasts Fist. Hu Xiao's ultimate skill is extremely powerful. It can be considered a half-earth rank skill. I didn't expect him to use the 10,000 Beast Fist here. It seems like he wants to end this quickly. I wonder how Lin Xian is going to receive it. One must know that as long as it's related to an earth rank martial art, its power is extremely terrifying. If Lin Xian doesn't have a corresponding skill, he'll be in danger. Hu Xiao's use of the 10,000 Beasts Fist made the audience exclaim. It couldn't be helped. The 10,000 Beasts Fist was a half-earth rank skill, which was very rare. Most of the martial artists present used spirit rank skills. Very few of them had access to half-earth rank skills, which was why they were so shocked. When the Wong family saw this scene, they relaxed and laughed. Hu Xiao used the 10,000 Beasts Fist. It seems like the match is about to end. Yes, Hu Xiao has already practiced the 10,000 Beasts Fist to 5 transformations. Lin Xian is no match for him. A group of Wong family elders sneered. In the sky, the giant demonic bear roared and charged at Lin Xian with an aura that could tear apart mountains and rivers. At the same time, there was a dense, baleful aura on its body as if it was a real demonic beast. That kind of power could easily tear apart a peak spirit detecting realm martial artist. Even a peak spirit detecting realm martial artist wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Looking at the demonic bear, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He let out a low roar and golden lightning surged around his body, forming a golden lightning beast on his fist. The golden lightning beast quickly grew and filled the sky. Golden lightning flashed all over its body and quickly formed a lightning pattern. It was as if it was made of gold. It was extraordinarily heroic. The two spirit beasts collided in the air and tore at each other. The terrifying energy wave after wave caused the sky to collapse. What? He caught it. That Lin Xian actually caught the 10,000 Beasts' fist. Everyone was shocked. The Wang family elder was also shocked. Impossible! The 10,000 Beasts' fist is a half-Earth rank skill. It's extremely powerful. How could that little bastard catch it? Does he also have a half-Earth rank skill? The group of people's faces darkened, seeing that his 10,000 Beasts' fist was blocked. Hua Xiao's expression turned cold. He snorted and punched again. This time, the shadow of the fist flickered and formed a huge poisonous scorpion. It was black all over, and black gas was swirling around it, making it look extremely demonic. As soon as the scorpion appeared, it pounced on the golden lightning beast. The two poisonous pincers and the poisonous tail quickly pierced into the golden lightning beast. The tail, in particular, was extremely poisonous. It quickly scattered the golden lightning beast. Ha ha! Seeing this scene, Hua Xiao laughed complacently. Kid, my 10,000 Beast fist has 5 variations. What are you going to use to fight me? Today, I will torture you to death and let you know that there are some people you can't mess with. Seeing the golden thunder beast destroyed, Lin Xian's expression remained calm. That was just a casual strike from him. Moreover, he had a general understanding of the 10,000 Beast fist strength. Although in the eyes of outsiders, the 10,000 Beast fist was very powerful, Lin Xian disdained it. What was a half-Earth rank skill? He had grasped a real Earth rank skill. Moreover, the opponent's 5 variations were still weak in his eyes. He had the great dragon sword spirit and could evolve thousands of variations at will. The two of them were not on the same level at all. Moreover, Lin Xian had lost interest in this match. Hua Xiao could not arouse the fighting spirit in his heart. 10,000 Beast Fist, is this your trump card? Then, let's end this match. Lin Xian's voice was calm, as if he was talking about something insignificant, and, with just you? Hua Xiao snorted. There was a trace of anger in his voice. He had already used a half-Earth rank skill and shattered the opponent's attack. It could be said that he had the upper hand. However, the opponent's expression remained the same, as if nothing had happened. There were no fluctuations in his emotions. This made him feel as if he had punched cotton. He was very unhappy. It was reasonable to say that he had defeated the opponent's attack. Lin Xian should be panicking. This was what he wanted. But now Lin Xian did not have any expression at all. He did not even take it seriously. This was completely different from what he had expected. This made Hua Xiao feel a deep sense of defeat. Pretentious? You must be pretentious. I'll beat you to the ground later. Let's see how you'll act then. Hua Xiao snorted in his heart. He was sure that Lin Xian was pretending to be calm. In fact, he did not have much battle strength left. Whether it ends or not, I have the final say. Do you think you still have the right to decide? Hua Xiao sneered. Then he quickly punched out and condensed another ferocious beast. 3 terrifying beasts circled around him, forming a terrifying aura. It was as if a demon king had come out. Brat, I'm tired of playing. Go to hell. Hua Xiao sneered. The 3 beasts behind him all pounced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian raised his left hand. He used the concept of wind and quickly condensed the clear wind bow. His right hand used the concept of thunder. Golden lightning danced and intertwined to form a golden arrow. Then he knocked the golden arrow on the clear wind bow and aimed it at Hua Xiao. At that moment, a shocking killing intent came from the golden arrow. A terrifying power swept out in all directions. The powerful aura that was emitted from his body stunned everyone present. Heavens, Lin Xian is using an ancient technique again. What a violent thunder aura. Could it be that he has grasped other concepts besides the concept of wind? The Wang family elders were also shocked. They could already feel that there were two powerful concepts surrounding Lin Xian. Damn little thief, how can he grasp two concepts at the same time? Is he really a peerless genius? Not good. I'm afraid Hu Xiao is in danger. On the stage, ever since the clear wind bow and the golden arrow appeared, Hu Xiao's entire body tensed up. He felt as if he was being stared at by the god of death. It was a kind of trembling that came from his soul, especially when Lin Xian aimed the bow at him. That feeling became even more intense. It was as if his soul would scatter in the next moment. This is impossible. Hu Xiao was horrified. A spirit-detecting brat was actually able to bring him the feeling of death. This was unbelievable. It had to be known that he had used the longevity fist to suppress his opponent, but in just a moment, the situation had reversed. The concept of wind and thunder, damn it, he actually has two concepts. At this moment, Hu Xiao's expression was extremely ugly. This was because he could feel that there were two powerful concepts on Lin Xian's body. Each concept was extremely powerful on its own, and now that they were combined together, they were even more powerful. Am I going to lose? A sense of helplessness rose up in his heart. The golden arrow was too powerful, suppressing him to the point that he couldn't even lift his head. But he was unwilling. He was an extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artist, and the master of the Wang family's great martial arena. If he admitted defeat like this, then he would definitely become a laughingstock. At that time, there would be no place for him in the entire Quicksand City. Chapter 591. That was why he couldn't admit defeat. However, if he didn't admit defeat, he would very likely be hit by the golden arrow. With that kind of terrifying aura, even if he didn't die, he would most likely lose half his life. If he didn't have the strength of a peak spirit-detecting realm cultivator, the Wang family's battle arena wouldn't want him anymore. That was why he was in a dilemma. Whether he surrendered or not, the result would be the same. A single golden arrow had forced Hu Xiao into a life and death situation. Hu Xiao was extremely angry. In the end, he decided to go all out, circulating the spirit energy in his body. Two more demonic beast phantoms appeared beside Hu Xiao. 5 demonic beast phantoms circled around him and attacked with the 10,000 beast fist. At this moment, he didn't hold back and used his strongest battle strength. The 5 demonic beasts roared and released a powerful force that caused the space in front of them to collapse. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect Hu Xiao to use 5 demonic beasts at the same time. 5 variations of the 10,000 beast fist. It seems like Hu Xiao is desperate. That Lin Xian is too terrifying, especially that golden arrow. It makes me feel like my heart is being torn apart. I wonder what the final result will be. Everyone discussed and paid attention once more. Lin Xian smirked when he saw the 5 ferocious beasts roaring. He circulated his spirit energy and used the 2 domains of wind and lightning. The clear wind bow and the golden arrow released a bright light as the 2 domains circled around them. In the next moment Lin Xian attacked. The golden arrow was like a bolt of golden lightning as it shot out. Not only was there Lin Xian's golden lightning, but there was also the power of wind from the clear wind bow. The 2 energies intertwined and formed a terrifying impact force. In an instant, the 5 demonic beast phantoms were mercilessly pierced through without any pause. The 2 of them weren't on the same level at all. What? It was pierced through in one move. Seeing that his strongest attack couldn't even block a single arrow, Hu Xiao's heart was filled with despair. Only now did he realize that Lin Xian's calmness from before wasn't just a show. He was truly confident because he wasn't on the same level as Lin Xian. Feeling the threat to his life, Hu Xiao no longer cared about anything else. Right now, preserving his life was the most important thing. At worst, he would just leave Quicksand City in the future. Therefore, he did not stop. His body flashed and turned into a shadow as he quickly ran out of the arena. At that moment, the demeanor of an expert and a genius was all gone. He was like a stray dog, miserable and pitiful, looking at Hu Zhao's fleeing figure. Everyone sighed. They didn't expect that the incomparably powerful expert of the Wang clan would actually flee at this moment. This situation was really ironic. The faces of those from the Wang clan were terrifyingly dark. This was definitely a huge humiliation. Their number one expert actually ran away at the last moment. This made them want to die. Whoosh! Hu Xiao transformed into a blur of light and quickly fled. However, the golden arrow behind him was even faster. In an instant, it had arrived behind Hu Xiao. Hu Xiao felt the shocking power coming from behind him, and his face was filled with shock. He couldn't withstand such a terrifying aura. The next moment, he condensed all the spiritual energy in his body, and 5 demonic beast phantoms quickly appeared behind him. They merged together to form the strongest defense. However, he had still underestimated the power of the golden arrow. The 5 phantoms didn't have any effect and were quickly pierced through. Then the golden arrow pierced Hu Zhao's body and nailed him to the ground. Pung! Hu Zhao's entire body was nailed to the ground. Traces of blood flowed out from the wound, and soon dyed the ground red. Hu Zhao's body trembled, and his expression was one of terror. Almost just a bit more, and it would have pierced his heart. If that had happened, he would have really died. Although he wasn't dead, he was still seriously injured. It would be a long time before he could display his peak spirit-detecting realm strength. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Hu Xiao used the last of his strength to roar. Once these words were spoken, everyone was in an uproar. The number one expert of the Wang clan had lost, and he had lost in such a miserable manner. They had never thought that this would happen. The faces of those from the Wang clan darkened, and many disciples collapsed to the ground. There was a sense of despair in their hearts. How long had it been since they had won 10 consecutive battles? Moreover, the number one expert they had always admired was nailed to the ground like a dead dog. This scene was simply too shocking. Yes, we won. This is great. Below, Black Pearl was so excited that she danced with joy. Her eyes narrowed into crescents. She was truly too excited. It has to be said that the payout for the last round was 1 to 10, which meant that her spirit stones had increased by 10 times. This was a great fortune for her. Nan Gongseng was also very happy. Aside from earning spirit stones, he had also made a friend with limitless potential like Lin Xian. This would be a very good thing for him and his clan in the future. Lin Xian stepped through the air and walked down step by step. Finally, he landed on the stage and looked at the red-robed referee. I say, you can announce the results now. Hearing this, the red-robed referee's face sank, and a strong killing intent appeared in his eyes. What? Could it be that the Wang clan's casino can't afford to lose? Or are you unwilling to part with the rewards? Lin Xian shrugged. If that's the case, then forget it. It's just a competition. My Wang clan's child can afford to lose. The red-robed old man clenched his teeth. This brat in front of him was simply too hateful. He wanted to slap him to death. Oh, is that so? Then I've already won 10 in a row. Hurry up and give me the rewards and spirit stones. Lin Xian smiled. He was really afraid that the Wang clan would cheat him of his rewards. However, in front of so many people, the Wang clan would definitely not dare to hide it. The Wang clan's faces darkened as they looked at Lin Xian with gritted teeth. However, in front of so many people, they could not go back on their words. Soon, someone handed over the rewards for winning 10 in a row and the spirit stones that Lin Xian had bet. Lin Xian had bet 300,000 mid-grade spirit stones at the beginning. Now that he had 5 million spirit stones in his hands, It had increased by more than 10 times. The speed of earning money was simply too fast. Moreover, the rewards for winning 10 in a row were even more generous. Even a peak spirit detecting realm martial artist would be jealous. After putting away the rewards and spirit stones, Lin Xian put away the golden arrow. Seeing the smile on Lin Xian's face, the Wang clan's elder was furious. He had decided that as soon as Lin Xian walked out of the Wang clan's arena, they would assassinate him. However, in the next moment, Lin Xian's words caused their bodies to tremble, and they almost fell to the ground. And the rewards are not bad. I'll be back tomorrow, Lin Xian said with a smile. Hearing this, the Wang clan's elder's body twitched, and he almost fainted. Come back tomorrow? Everyone was also stunned. Their mouths twitched as they looked at Lin Xian with a strange expression. Does this guy want to fight the Wang clan to the end? Chapter 592. Come again tomorrow? Immediately, many people became excited. One had to know that the Wang family's expert had just been defeated, which meant that there were no experts left in the Wang family's arena. If Lin Xian came again tomorrow, no one would be able to resist him. If the Wang family couldn't handle this matter well, their status might plummet. One had to know that many people were eyeing the Wang family's arena. On the second floor, the black-robed elder's face was gloomy. Send someone to kill this kid tonight. We can't let him live to see tomorrow's sun, the black-robed elder ordered. His voice was cold and emotionless. No matter what the other party did, as long as they could kill him, he wouldn't be able to come again tomorrow. At that time, the Wang family's crisis would be resolved. Lin Xian's words made the Wang family members angry, and the surrounding crowd was in an uproar. These people were too excited. Today's battle was too exciting. Every battle could be called a classic. Moreover, they had witnessed the rise of a peerless genius like Lin Xian. Originally, because of the arrival of the Murong goddess, many foreign geniuses had come to Quicksand City. Now, with the addition of Lin Xian, a genius martial artist, there would definitely be an intense clash. Just thinking about it made people excited. Lin Xian collected the spirit stones and left the Wang family's arena with Nan Gongseng and Black Pearl. Brother Lin, you must have angered the Wang family by obtaining 10 consecutive victories. I don't think they'll let this go. Why don't you stay at my Nan Gongseng tonight? Thank you for your kindness, Brother Nan Gongseng. I don't care about a mere Wang family. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. Don't worry. If there's any danger, I'll definitely ask for your help. Lin Xian was very strong now. He didn't fear martial artists below the venerable realm. Even if a venerable realm martial artist attacked, he had a certain degree of confidence that he could escape. That was why he had the courage to stay alone. After temporarily bidding farewell to Nan Gongseng and Black Pearl, Lin Xian returned to the mansion he had just bought. Although this exquisite courtyard was in a bustling city, it was filled with tranquility. Lin Xian walked in and quickly forgot about the previous battle. His heart was calm. The battle during the day had deepened his comprehension of the concepts of wind and lightning. Moreover, he had unexpectedly obtained an ancient lost skill, the clear wind bow. The clear wind bow combined with the golden arrow could fully display the power of the two concepts of wind and lightning. It could be said to be an extremely powerful killing move. Lin Xian sat cross-legged under an ancient tree and began to comprehend in silence. While Lin Xian was cultivating, the Wang clan was also moving in secret. When Lin Xian walked out of the Wang family's coliseum, they sent a martial practitioner who was skilled in concealment and tracking to follow him. That martial artist was truly amazing. He had managed to hide from Lin Xian's perception and secretly followed them. In the end, he found Lin Xian's residence, so he went back to report. When they found out that Lin Xian was living alone, everyone in the Wang clan revealed sinister smiles. Damned little thief. This time, I must kill him here. I'll go kill him. The red-robed judge's voice was cold. Previously, he had personally witnessed Lin Xian defeating the Wang clan's geniuses one by one. Needless to say, his mood was extremely sullen. Now that he had the chance to kill Lin Xian, he naturally wouldn't miss it. This matter must be kept a secret. Otherwise, my Wang clan will be in big trouble, the black-robed elder said. Killing a contestant was a great taboo, especially a genius like Lin Xian. First of all, these geniuses had powerful forces behind them. Second of all, other martial practitioners would be angry. If they really angered everyone, the Wang clan would be in big trouble. That was why the black-robed elder was so cautious. Don't worry, I'll bring an illusion array to completely seal that place. When the time comes, that little thief won't be able to escape. The red-robed elder sneered. After discussing the countermeasures, the red-robed elder set off. In order to avoid being discovered, he went alone this time. The red-robed elder was also a martial practitioner at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. However, he had been in this realm for many years and was abnormally powerful. He was far from someone of the younger generation like Huishao. Therefore, the Wang clan was very relieved to send him this time. At night, the cold moon shone alone. It was the latter half of the night, and there were very few people on the road. The moment the red-robed elder came out, he turned into a ray of light and disappeared into the sky. His speed was very fast, and it didn't take long for him to arrive at Lin Xian's courtyard. With a wave of his hand, the red-robed elder threw out an illusion array that covered the entire courtyard. Below, Lin Xian was sitting under an ancient tree and cultivating. Suddenly, he opened his eyes. At this moment, his eyes were very sharp. They were like two rays of sword light that pierced through the void. "Ha ha, damn little thief. Let's see how you'll escape this time." An old man sneered. This voice was very arrogant and didn't hide it at all. Then the red-robed elder's figure appeared in the void. What followed was an endless pressure that covered the sky and the earth, enveloping the entire courtyard. Lin Xian looked at the figure above. He didn't need to think to know that the other party was here to kill him. However, he didn't expect such a big move. As if he had seen through Lin Xian's doubts, the red-robed old man sneered and said, "Don't even think about escaping. No one will come to save you because I've already set up the illusory spirit defensive formation. The outside world won't know anything that happens here. So just wait for your death obediently." The red-robed elder was very confident. He was very powerful and didn't put Lin Xian in his eyes at all. If it weren't for the fact that he couldn't fight in the arena, he would have killed this despicable little thief with one palm. "I see. A defensive array is exactly what I want. This way, I don't have to worry about anything." Lin Xian smiled. "You're about to die, and you still dare to be so arrogant. You really don't know how to write the word death." The red-robed elder snorted. He didn't see Lin Xian's helpless and frightened expression, which made him very unhappy. Therefore, he planned to use all the torture methods in the world until he tortured Lin Xian to death. "Little thief, I'll let you know the consequences of offending the Wang family." The red-robed elder sneered and quickly rushed over. In his hand, a blood-red spear was condensed. It was filled with killing intent, and there were even drops of blood dripping from it. This aura was abnormally strong, far stronger than Huizhao's. The entire void couldn't withstand it, and countless small black cracks appeared. The red-robed elder's face was ferocious. He seemed to have seen Lin Xian being pierced by the blood-red spear. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. This was because he saw a sword, a blood-red long sword. It was scarlet, demonic, bloodthirsty, and murderous. The powerful blood aura enveloped the surroundings and dyed the surroundings blood red. It was as if they were in hell. The red-robed elder's heart trembled. The blood-red longsword was too terrifying. It was far stronger than his blood-red spear. It even made him feel like he was facing death. Impossible! How can you have such a powerful martial skill? The red-robed elder cried out. Chapter 593. Impossible! How can you have such a powerful martial skill? The red-robed elder cried out. He was stunned. Lin Xian's blood-colored sword was too terrifying. Its power far exceeded that of a peak spirit-detecting realm martial artist. Did you hide your strengths? The red-robed elder screamed. If that was the case, then it was too terrifying. The youth in front of him was only at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm, but his strength surpassed his. This was too terrifying. This youth was probably very close to the top geniuses of the Sand region. No, I have to send the news back to the family. The red-robed elder was anxious. Their previous analysis was wrong. This youth's strength had completely exceeded their expectations. Run. This was his only thought. He couldn't fight against that blood-colored sword. You want to leave? Don't you think it's too late? Lin Xian sneered. This Wang family was indeed sinister. Just because he had obtained 10 consecutive victories, they wanted to kill him. This kind of family didn't deserve to come to the arena. Since they wanted his life, he didn't plan to let them go. Therefore, he used the slaughter sword from the start. Looking at the red-robed elder who had turned into an afterimage, Lin Xian raised the slaughter sword and quickly slashed it down. The blood-colored sword aura surged and instantly submerged the red-robed elder. No! The red-robed elder roared unwillingly. He struggled with all his strength, but it was useless. In the end, he was completely submerged. In the next moment, the blood-colored sword aura disappeared, and the red-robed elder's corpse fell from the sky. Lin Xian waved his arm and sent out a ball of spirit flame to burn the corpse. Then he stepped into the air and used his soul power to sense the illusion array outside. Relying on his outstanding soul power and knowledge of array formations, he quickly collected this illusion array. Then he sat cross-legged under the ancient tree to cultivate. In the Wang family's arena, a group of people were anxiously waiting. It's been so long. Why hasn't he returned yet? Did something happen? What could happen to a little thief? Many people snorted. In their eyes, the red-robed elder can easily kill Lin Xian. Yeah, maybe the elder is torturing that kid. Someone laughed. All right, let's wait patiently, the black-robed elder said. However, as time passed, the Wang clan's initial disdain turned into suspicion. In the end, all of them were frowning. Is there really a problem? This time no one answered. Why don't I go take a look? An old man in sackcloth said. The black-robed elder nodded. The sack-robed elder was stronger than the red-robed judge. Therefore, no one objected to the sack-robed elder's decision. Seeing that the black-robed old man had agreed, the hemp-robed old man did not linger. He quickly turned into a ray of light and flew into the distance. Whoosh! Soon he arrived above Lin Xian's residence. Then he frowned because it was too quiet. It was quiet all around. There was not a single sound, and the surrounding buildings were in perfect condition. There were no traces of fighting. Could it be that he had succeeded? The hemp-robed old man was puzzled. Then he reached out with his soul. However, he did not sense any aura. With doubts in his heart, the old man decided to go down and take a look. In any case, even if a thief had some tricks up his sleeve, it was impossible for him to harm him. The hemp-robed old man snorted and quickly landed in the courtyard. However, as soon as he landed, the surrounding spiritual energy suddenly surged. An illusory spirit defense array suddenly appeared and covered the surroundings. The family's illusory spirit array? The hemp-robed old man frowned. He had a bad feeling. Old 8, are you there? The hemp-robed old man shouted. However, no one answered. At that moment, a voice sounded. Stop shouting. He won't answer you. Hearing that, the hemp-robed old man's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly turned around and cried out, "It's you?" When he saw the figure behind him, he was instantly stunned. "You're not dead." The hemp-robed old man's heart was in a mess. Naturally, he saw Lin Xian. However, if Lin Xian was still alive, then the red-robed old man was very likely, you guessed right. That guy is indeed dead. Lin Xian said in a low voice, "Thief, what trick did you use? How dare you kill an elder of the Wang family?" The hemp-robed old man shouted coldly, "You're dead. I'll pull out your tendons and refine your soul. I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death." "Humph! Cut the crap. You'll join him soon." Lin Xian's face was gloomy. "Don't think that the Wang family can do whatever you want. Since you want to kill me, you should be prepared to be killed." "Killed? You?" The hemp-robed old man sneered. "Kid, I don't know how you killed old 8, but if you think you can kill me, then you're too naive." The hemp-robed old man laughed maniacally. However, his laughter soon stopped as if someone had grabbed him by the neck. That was because he saw a sword, a pitch-black sword, gloomy, cold, silent, and dead. That kind of aura made one despair. "Impossible! What kind of move is this?" The hemp-robed old man screamed. He realized that the aura was too strong for him to resist. Now, he suddenly understood that old 8 might not have been assassinated, but killed in an instant. The young man in front of him was too strange. His strength was beyond everyone's expectations. Damn it! The hemp-robed old man's face was ferocious. He could no longer care about anything else and ran. However, the pitch-black sword suddenly appeared in front of him. Misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. The hemp-robed old man squeezed out an ugly smile. However, Lin Xian ignored him completely. The silent sword continued to fall quickly. "If you dare to kill me, the Wang family won't let you go." The hemp-robed old man saw that begging for mercy was useless and immediately became ferocious. However, no matter what, he couldn't escape. Puchi! The silent sword pierced the hemp-robed old man's chest and took away all of his life force. One sword, and the hemp-robed old man was killed. The Wang family had sent 2 elders at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm, but they were both killed. The next time they sent someone, it might be a group attack. Lin Xian guessed that the possibility of sending a supremacy was not high, so he wasn't too worried. Compared to Lin Xian, the Wang family was in a very bad mood. They had already sent 2 elders, but there was no news of them. This gave them a very bad premonition. In the end, the black-robed old man couldn't take it anymore and sent someone to check. Soon, someone reported back, "Elder, that little thief's courtyard is very quiet, and there are no signs of fighting," a martial artist said. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. They felt as if the 2 elders had disappeared. If that was the case, then it was too terrifying. Impossible. The 2 elders are very powerful. How could that little thief be a match for them? Since that little thief can't be killed, then there's only one possibility. There must be an expert by his side. Someone analyzed. Usually, when disciples of large sects go out, they seem to be alone, but there are mysterious experts secretly protecting them. That Lin Xian is very likely such a person. Chapter 594. According to the Wang family's analysis, they discovered that there was likely a mysterious expert behind Lin Xian. If that was the case, then things would become very troublesome. Based on the current situation, the mysterious expert behind Lin Xian was very powerful. His strength might be above the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. As for whether he had reached the venerable realm, it was unknown. They could not assassinate Lin Xian at all in the face of such a powerhouse. Thinking of this, the Wang family's faces darkened. Damn it. Are we just going to let it go? Someone was unwilling to give up. Lin Xian had injured several of their experts, causing the Wang clan's battle arena to lose face in front of everyone, making them unable to raise their heads. Every time they thought of this, they had the urge to vomit blood. Therefore, they had to get rid of Lin Xian. Only then would they feel at ease. We'll also send out venerables. I don't believe that mysterious expert can fight against our entire Wang family. No, the black-robed elder shook his head. The combat strength of a venerable realm expert is too terrifying. If we act rashly, it will definitely attract the attention of other forces. If this matter is exposed, it will be very disadvantageous to our Wang family. That would be extremely disadvantageous to our Wang clan. So, unless we have no other choice, we absolutely can't dispatch Exalt Realm experts. As for that thief, of course we can't let him go. Let's close the dojo for a few days and recruit some powerful young martial artists. Firstly, our Wang family lost many experts in this battle, and it also exposed the weakness of our dojo. Especially this time, many geniuses from other regions have come. We must be prepared. Isn't that thief going to come again? When we find enough battle strength, we'll directly kill him in the arena. At that time, even the mysterious expert behind him would not be able to stop him. The black-robed elder's voice was cold. Everyone nodded in agreement. Not only could this method kill that detestable thief, but it could also increase the strength of their dojo. It could be said to be killing two birds with one stone. Soon, these people began to act. The next day, the news that the Wang family's dojo was temporarily closed spread. Immediately, everyone was shocked. The Wang family's dojo was considered a medium-sized dojo, and its business was usually good. This sudden closure stunned many people. Very soon, news of Lin Xian's 10 consecutive victories and the defeat of the Wang family's experts spread like wildfire. Many people were shocked. For a moment, Lin Xian and the Wang clan's battle arena were pushed into the center of the storm. When Lin Xian heard about this, he was also stunned. He didn't expect the Wang family's dojo to be closed. Soon after, he shook his head and stopped paying attention to it. It seemed like the Wang family had been dealt a heavy blow, so they wouldn't make a move against him for the time being. He could use this time to exchange some of the resources he had on him. Although he wasn't very familiar with Quicksand City, with Nan Gongseng's help things should go smoothly. When Lin Xian found Nan Gongseng and told him his idea, Nan Gongseng's eyes lit up and he slapped his thigh. This is fate, Brother Lin. I just happened to know of a small-scale exchange meeting, and its standards can be said to be the highest beneath the Exalt realm. I'll take you there in a few days. Hearing Nan Gongseng's introduction, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. This exchange meeting was held among the major forces of Quicksand City and was very secretive. Moreover, it was generally not open to the public. If one wasn't invited, it was absolutely impossible to enter. Moreover, this exchange meeting was conducted through bartering. Generally, the items that appeared were relatively rare resources, which was completely in line with Lin Xian's requirements. After bidding farewell to Nan Gongseng, Lin Xian returned to his courtyard and began to prepare the items he wanted to exchange. Lin Xian was preparing to sell some of his useless spirit-grade artifacts. In addition, he also planned to sell a 3,000-year-old spirit herb and 2 1,000-year-old spirit herbs. As for what he wanted to exchange for, he hadn't thought about it yet. He would have to wait until the time of the exchange to choose. In addition, he had a lot of primal yang stones on him, but he didn't plan to take them out. He, the Crimson Dragon, and the Snow White Monkey all needed primal yang stones. Moreover, primal yang stones were too important. If he took them out, it would definitely attract the attention of people with ulterior motives. Lin Xian didn't want to cause trouble for himself. 3 days later, Nan Gongseng came to find him. The two of them didn't stop and immediately set off. Nan Gongseng led the way in the city, and it didn't take long for them to arrive at a secret place. Nan Gongseng took out an ancient token and poured his spirit energy into it. Then he shone it at the high wall in front of them. Suddenly, the ancient token bloomed with light, and a huge ancient character appeared. The high wall in front of them became hazy, and ripples appeared. Then the scene in front of them changed, and an illusory door appeared. It's actually a strange space. The crimson dragon hid in Lin Xian's sleeve, and was surprised. Upon hearing the dark red divine dragon's voice transmission, Lin Xian was also surprised. He took a few more glances at the front. Brother Lin, the small exchange is inside. Let's go in. Nan Gongseng took back the token and said with a smile, Okay. Lin Xian nodded. Then the two of them entered the illusory door. After entering, Lin Xian found that the scenery inside was very different. It was different from the quicksand and rocks outside. The buildings inside could be said to be very exquisite. There were tall halls, exquisite pavilions, rockeries, flying stones, and waterfalls everywhere. It could be said that it was a paradise on earth. Who are you? Suddenly, a cold voice came from the front. Lin Xian squinted his eyes and looked forward. He saw several figures flying from a pavilion in the distance. They were very fast and arrived in front of the two of them in an instant. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A few silhouettes landed. Their bodies carried a sharp aura, and their eyes were filled with vigilance. We are from the Nan Gongseng family. Nan Gongseng handed over the token. That's right, the token is correct. You may enter. Those people quickly left after checking. Lin Xian was speechless. No wonder Nan Gongseng said that they couldn't enter without proof. The checks were very strict, and these people were very strong. Normal people wouldn't be able to force their way in. I hope we can find something useful here. Lin Xian was excited. Then the two of them quickly walked inside. It's Nan Gongseng. Along the way, many people greeted Nan Gongseng, but even more people looked at Lin Xian. First of all, Lin Xian was a new face, and they had never seen him before. Secondly, Lin Xian's cultivation was only at the middle stage of the spirit detecting realm. Although it was not bad outside, it was too low here. Even if he was a disciple of a large family, he wouldn't be qualified to come here. Therefore, everyone looked at Lin Xian with doubt. There were also some people who looked at him with disdain. No matter how Lin Xian came in, his strength wasn't enough. He wasn't even comparable to the servants here. This kind of person wouldn't cooperate with them. Brother Nan Gongseng, you're finally here. A loud laughter was heard, and then a tall figure appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 595. Brother Nangong, you're finally here. A loud laugh rang out. The newcomer was tall and sturdy. He had bronze skin and was filled with explosive power. Behind him was a silver spear that flickered with silver light. This person's aura was tyrannical, like a giant mountain. Although he didn't deliberately release it, the pressure caused many people's hearts to tremble. Brother Rulong, long time no see. Your strength has improved a lot, Nan Gongseng said with a smile. The two exchanged a few words. Then the tall youth looked at Lin Xian and asked, Brother Nangong, who is this? Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators all turned their heads with a trace of curiosity. This is Lin Xian, Brother Lin. He's also a young genius. Oh, is that so? To be praised by Brother Nangong. He must be extraordinary. The tall youth was stunned for a moment before he greeted Lin Xian with a smile. Lin Xian returned the greeting with a smile. However, the surrounding people weren't so polite. Many of them coldly snorted. They clearly didn't believe that Lin Xian was a young genius. Otherwise, why would he only be at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm? Please come in, the tall youth Marulong said. Then Lin Xian and Nan Gongsheng walked in. This space was much larger than they had imagined. There were large palaces around them. Ma Rulong led Lin Xian and Nan Gongsheng to a silver palace. Brother Nangong, Brother Lin, please fill in the treasures you want to exchange here. I'll go greet another guest. Oh, guest? What guest? Nan Gongseng was puzzled. He knew Ma Rulong's identity. He was also a disciple of one of the top forces in Quicksand City. Even this small space belonged to his family. A guest that he had to personally greet must be extraordinary. Speaking of which, this is also an important guest. I'm sure you've heard of his name. Ma Rulong said. His name is Shun Yaotian. Shin Yaotian? Nan Gongseng was stunned. Then he exclaimed, could it be that Shin family? That's right. He's from the Shun clan of the Tianwu domain. This Shin Yaotian is very powerful. His cultivation is extremely profound. He can even fight against those geniuses. Rumor has it that he's following the heavenly daughter of the Morong family. Since he's passing by this time, it just so happens that he wants to participate in the rare treasures exchange. Lin Xian was astonished. He had heard of the geniuses from the Sand region. They were extremely powerful existences. He had never thought that Shin Yaotian would be able to contend with them. He was definitely a terrifying figure. I didn't expect that the Shin family would also come. It seems that Quicksand City will be interesting this time, Nan Gongsheng said with a smile. Shin family? Lin Xian frowned as he recalled a figure from his memory. The Shun family is a super clan in the central region of the Tianwu continent. They have a king in the clan. They're the top existences in the Tianwu domain. And this Shin Yaotian is one of the more outstanding members of the Shin family's younger generation. House of Kings, Lin Xian gasped. In the Tianan region, venerables were the strongest fighting force. They could dominate a region. However, the Tianwu domain was different. Although venerables were part of the upper echelons, they weren't the top. The top warriors were kings. Only those with kings were the top existences in the continent. And the Shun family was such an existence. You two sit in the meditation palace for a while. I'll be back soon, Ma Rulong said. Then he turned around and left. Lin Xian and Nan Gongsheng walked into the silver palace behind him. Brother Lin, what are you going to exchange this time? Nan Gongsheng asked. Just now, he was pretended to pay attention to Shin Yaotian's news and didn't pay attention to Lin Xian's information. Nothing much. I have some spiritual artifacts and 3 spiritual herbs. Lin Xian didn't plan to hide it. After all, he had already filled in the information. It wouldn't take long for everyone to know. Oh, spiritual herbs? What kind of spiritual herbs? Nan Gongsheng asked. Obviously, the spirit rank treasures had been ignored. Instead, he seemed to be very interested in the spirit herbs, a 3,000-year-old purple sunflower and 2 1,000-year-old blood ginseng. What? 3,000-year-old purple sunflower? Nan Gongsheng exclaimed and jumped up. His expression was even more surprised than when he heard Shin Yaotian's name. Seeing Nan Gongsheng's reaction, Lin Xian was stunned. Although 3,000-year-old spiritual herbs were rare, there shouldn't be such a reaction. Seeing Lin Xian's confused expression, Nan Gongsheng tried his best to calm down. After a long time, he slowly exhaled. Brother Lin, it seems like you really don't know much about the Sand region. Nan Gongsheng said, the Sand region's climate is abnormal and it lacks water. Therefore, some spiritual herbs can't grow here. Let alone 3,000-year-old spiritual herbs. Even 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs are rare. With Nan Gongsheng's explanation, Lin Xian finally understood. Although the Sky Martial domain was vast, it was divided into regions. For example, in the Sand region, spiritual herbs were rare. On the other hand, precious stones and ores were abundant. Therefore, when Lin Xian mentioned 3,000-year-old spiritual herbs, Nan Gongsheng had such a big reaction. Not to mention Nan Gongsheng, even the patriarch of the Nan Gongsheng family would be tempted. After hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. He didn't know the importance of spiritual herbs in the sand region. Therefore, he took out 3 spiritual herbs, one of which was 3,000-year-old. However, it seemed like it would be troublesome. He didn't believe that the people from the big factions could restrain their desires. As if sensing Lin Xian's worry, Nan Gongsheng comforted him. "Brother Lin, don't worry. The standards of this exchange are very high, and the rules are strict. No one will cause trouble." "I hope so." Lin Xian exhaled heavily. He realized that he couldn't reveal any other spiritual herbs in the sand region. At this moment, a group of people suddenly landed in front of the main hall and quickly walked over. These people were all outstanding and extraordinary. Powerful auras flowed around their bodies. One look, and anyone could tell that they were young experts. One of them was even more powerful. He had blue hair, and his eyes were as bright as the stars. They were incomparably deep. There were blue halos around his body, making him look like an immortal king. "This is Shen Yaotian from the Shen family. People call him Prince Akash." Ma Rulong introduced. The blue-haired youth looked at Lin Xian and Nan Gongsheng with a deep gaze and nodded slightly as a greeting. However, his arrogant expression made Nan Gongsheng unhappy. Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that Shen Yaotian was also an extremely arrogant and conceited person. Then Ma Rulong introduced Nan Gongsheng and Lin Xian. Shen Yaotian didn't react to Nan Gongsheng. Instead, he stared at Lin Xian. "Are you the one who wants to sell the 3,000-year-old violet sunflower?" Shen Yaotian asked in a deep voice. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Then they looked at Lin Xian with burning eyes. Ma Rulong was also stunned. It seemed that Shen Yaotian was more powerful than he had imagined. He was able to obtain the information on the list in such a short time. Chapter 596. No wonder he was in a hurry to come here. It seemed like his target was the 3,000-year-old Ziyang flower. Seeing everyone's gaze, Lin Xian nodded. There was no point in denying it now. He might as well admit it openly. "Very well, kneel down and offer the Ziyang flower to me. I will consider letting you become the Shen family's battle servant," Shen Yaotian said condescendingly. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Then they all looked at Lin Xian, especially the warriors who came with Shen Yaotian. They all had mocking expressions on their faces. Lin Xian's face darkened. He secretly activated the great dragon sword soul in his body, ready to attack at any time. Nan Gongsheng was also angry. "Shen Yaotian, what do you mean by this?" Just now, Shen Yaotian's condescending attitude made him unhappy. Now, Shen Yaotian actually wanted Xian to kneel down and offer the 3,000-year-old spiritual herb. This was simply too much. What did he mean? Could it be that he didn't understand? Shen Yaotian revealed a disdainful smile. He turned and stared at Lin Xian. "It seems like you still don't understand the power of my Shen family. Not everyone can become the Shen family's battle servant. Many people want to join the Shen family. Now that you have received a great benefit, why don't you quickly kneel down and thank us?" Shen Yaotian's face was full of pride. It was as if he had bestowed Lin Xian a great favor. Lin Xian's eyes were gloomy. This Shen Yaotian in front of him was too much. Not only did he want him to offer the 3,000-year-old spiritual herb for free, but he also wanted him to become the Shen family's servant. Not only that, in Shen Yaotian's eyes, he even wanted him to kneel down and thank him. At this moment, Lin Xian's heart was burning with anger. Cold sword intent surged in his body, as if it would rush out at any time. "What if I don't give it to you?" Lin Xian's voice was cold. He suppressed the anger in his heart and did not attack. "Don't give it to you?" Shen Yao Tian laughed. Do you think you have the ability to decide this matter? He looked extremely arrogant and did not put Lin Xian in his eyes at all. Brother Shen, the rules of this rare treasures exchange are to exchange items. If you really want the 3,000-year-old purple sunflower, why don't you use other items to exchange for it? Ma Rulong said. He was the host of this rare treasures exchange meeting, so he naturally didn't want things to get out of hand. Exchange? Shen Yaotian revealed a faint smile. Brother Ma, you think too highly of this brat. He is just an ant at the mid-stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Being able to enter this exchange is already a great gift for him, yet he still wants to trade. This was simply a fantasy story. The warriors who followed behind Shen Yaotian also laughed foolishly. Humph! A piece of trash who came in through connections actually dares to reject young Master Akash. He really does not know how to spell the word death. Brat, hurry up and hand over the 3,000-year-old violet sunflower, or else you won't be able to bear the consequences. All of you are looking down on my Ma family. Ma Rulong's face sank. Brother Ma misunderstood. Shen Yaotian laughed. We are not targeting Brother Ma, but this ant is not willing to exchange with me. I don't want to affect our relationship because of a piece of trash at the mid-stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Shen Yaotian's voice was calm, but there was a hint of threat in his words. Humph! A good exchange meeting was actually ruined by a bunch of random people. It's fine if I don't participate in this exchange meeting. Brother Lin, let's go! Nan Gongshen coldly snorted. His handsome face was a bit sinister. Brother Rulong, I'll take my leave. I'll visit you another day. Nan Gongshen pulled Lin Xian and was about to leave. You want to leave? It won't be that easy. Several warriors blocked the door, blocking Lin Xian and Nan Gongshen's path. You can leave, but he can't. Those people pointed at Lin Xian with a sharp aura. Damn it! Nan Gongshen's body trembled. Brother Shen, I hope you won't break the rules of the rare treasure gathering. Ma Rulong's face was very ugly. Don't worry, Brother Rulong. I'll solve this problem quickly. Shen Yaotian's body was surrounded by blue rings, and he was very confident. Now you have two choices. First, kneel down and offer me the purple sunflower. I can let you become the Shun family's battle servant. Second, you can refuse, but the purple sunflower will still be mine in the end. As for you, those who dare to disobey my orders have never lived past the second day. At the end of his words, Shen Yaotian's body emitted a powerful killing intent that surrounded the entire palace. Nan Gongshen stomped his feet in anger. This Shen Yaotian was too domineering and shameless. He wanted to snatch Lin Xian's spirit herb. There was no room for negotiation. How was he a disciple of a big family? He was clearly a bandit. Lin Xian's expression was cold. The sword intent in his body surged, as if it would burst out at any time. Shen Yaotian seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's aura. He smiled disdainfully. Don't even think about attacking me. You don't have the right to do so. Fine, I'll tell you. Let us show you the difference between us. Shen Yaotian said. I've already reached the half-step supremacy realm. I can kill you in an instant with just a finger. Shen Yaotian looked at Lin Xian like a dragon looking at an ant. Brother Shen, why do you have to do this? With your status, it shouldn't be difficult for you to exchange for the 3,000-year-old purple sunflower. Ma Rulong sighed. Shen Yaotian smiled. It's not difficult for me to exchange for a 3,000-year-old spirit herb, but an ant is not worthy of my exchange. His rings shone brightly and emitted a terrifying aura. He was a Star War god walking in the mortal world. Moreover, I've already given him a choice. If he can join the Shen family, it will be a great gift to him. Damn, this is too much. Nan Gongshen was so angry that his face turned green. He couldn't stand it anymore. Lin Xian was his friend, but Shen Yaotian kept looking for trouble. He didn't take him seriously at all. So what if I'm bullying you? Shen Yao Tian took a step forward, and the rings of stars around him shone brightly. They were like huge stars floating around him. A terrifying aura shrouded the surroundings as if it could tear the world apart at any time. Shen Yao Tian was too strong. He didn't take Ma Rulong's warning seriously at all. His aura was as powerful as the sea of stars. Shen Yao Tian would kill him immediately if he didn't agree with him. Ma Rulong's face darkened. He was the host of the rare treasure gathering. If he allowed someone to break the rules here, he wouldn't be able to stay in the quicksand stratum anymore. Even if the other party was a genius of the Shun family, he had to stop him. In the next moment, he stepped forward. A silver light appeared behind him and formed a silver spear that pierced through the sky. The atmosphere became extremely tense. Endless murderous aura surrounded the area. Shen Yaotian's rings shone brightly. His sharp aura made many people tremble. His gaze was like a star piercing toward Lin Xian. Wherever it passed, the void shattered. Shen Yaotian was too strong. He was indeed a half-step supremacy. This attack could easily kill a martial artist at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm. In the eyes of the crowd, Lin Xian couldn't escape. Chapter 597. Shen Yaotian's body shone with blue stars, and he was filled with the power of the Decepticon sect. He pointed his finger at Lin Xian. The finger was like a shooting star, and its power could kill any martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Shen Yaotian did not hold back. He wanted to kill Lin Xian and take the 3,000-year-old spiritual herb. The others sneered. In their opinion, Lin Xian had no chance of surviving. Whoosh! At this moment, Ma Rulong made his move. The silver spear on his back surged and emitted a dazzling spear radiance that collided with the star finger. Although Ma Rulong had not reached the half-step honorable realm, he was still very powerful. Therefore, when his spear radiance collided with the star finger, it exploded with a terrifying energy. The energy was so powerful that it could destroy the entire palace. Fortunately, the two of them stopped in time and dispersed the energy to avoid disaster. Brother Rulong, don't stop me. I've made up my mind, Shen Yaotian said coldly. Then his body shone like a huge star as he charged at Lin Xian. Humph! Ma Rulong shouted angrily. The spiritual energy in his body surged and condensed into the shadow of a silver spear. Then the spear swung and pierced forward. It was like a silver lightning bolt that flew in the air. On the other side, Nan Gongsheng also rushed forward. He waved his palms and formed a palm shadow. Although he knew that he could not defeat Ma Rulong, he still wanted to attack because he was too angry. It's useless. You can't stop me. Shen Yaotian's voice was cold. He suddenly exerted his strength, and his body shone brightly, forming a huge amount of star power. Star Fist. With a punch, a terrifying force surged forward and sent Ma Rulong and Nan Gongsheng flying. Lin Xian's pupils shrank as he was extremely shocked. Ma Rulong's strength could be said to be extremely powerful. However, he was actually unable to block a single attack from Shen Yaotian. This was truly unbelievable. It seemed that Shen Yaotian was much stronger than he had imagined. After sending Ma Rulong and Nan Gongsheng flying with a single punch, Shen Yaotian looked around disdainfully. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at Lin Xian. His expression was very casual and calm, as if he didn't put Lin Xian in his eyes at all. Ma Rulong's heart sank. Nan Gongsheng's expression also changed greatly. Although he had seen how powerful Lin Xian was, he didn't think that Lin Xian could compete with Shen Yaotian. After all, even a powerful figure like Ma Rulong was sent flying with a single punch. The strength of a half-step venerable could be said to be heaven-defying. Perhaps in the entire Sand region, only a few monstrous geniuses could contend with him. Brother Lin, run. Nan Gongseng shouted. You want to leave? Too late. Shin Yaotian snorted coldly. His 5 fingers were like a cage as he pointed at Lin Xian. In an instant, 5 heavenly pillars appeared in the void and tore the sky apart. And this is your own choice. Go to hell. Shin Yaotian's blue hair fluttered in the wind. He was extremely powerful, like a starry sky war god. His giant hand was like a mountain as it pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression was cold. In the next moment, he pulled out the Wind Shadow Sword and activated his sword will. His entire body was like a divine sword that had been unsheathed. He was extremely sharp. With a swing of his sword, a dazzling sword chi was like a rainbow as it quickly slashed at the void. Lin Xian had activated the Great Dragon Sword will in this sword. It was extremely sharp. The terrifying sword chi tore through everything as it slashed at the mountain-like giant hand. Clang! Rumble! The void trembled as the sound waves spread in all directions. Extremely unstable cracks appeared in the void and quickly spread in all directions. The dazzling sword chi shattered and disappeared in the air. The giant hand also stopped and became a little dim. What? He actually resisted it? That's impossible. The surrounding martial artists were stunned. They kept rubbing their eyes as they couldn't believe what they had just seen. A mid-stage spirit-detecting realm brat had actually resisted Shin Yaotian's attack with a single sword. If this was told to others, no one would believe it. Who was Shin Yaotian? He was a genius of the House of Kings. Even if he came to Sand Valley, he would be a peak existence. This kind of person could destroy a group of peak spirit-detecting realm martial artists with a raise of his hand. However, a mid-stage spirit-detecting realm brat had actually blocked his attack. This was too unbelievable. Even if this was just a casual attack from Shin Yaotian, no one could accept it. Shin Yaotian was also slightly surprised. You actually blocked it. Interesting. It seems like you're not a complete waste. Brat, I'm someone who cherishes talent. I'll give you one more chance. Kneel down and offer me a 3,000-year-old purple sunflower. Then become a battle servant of the Shin family, and I'll spare your life. In 100 years, you might have a chance to enter the sovereign realm. Shin Yaotian's voice was cold. He still didn't put Lin Xian in his eyes. Join your grandpa. Lin Xian was angry. He waved his sword and released a terrifying sword chi. Rays of sword light tore through the void and quickly slashed forward. He was indeed angry. His opponent's expression was too annoying. He decided to beat him into a pig's head. Too weak. This kind of attack has no effect on me. Shin Yaotian's expression was disdainful. His body was surrounded by a halo of stars, making him look like a god of war. Blue fists punched out, and the entire void cracked. Every punch was like a meteor smashing into the void. The power was enough to make one's heart tremble. Boom, boom. Terrifying fist shadows struck out and collided with the sword chi. Violent energy waves burst out and swept in all directions. Ma Rulong recovered from his initial shock. He took out the silver spear on his back and tried his best to eliminate the energy waves. Otherwise, the entire silver hall would be turned into ashes in an instant. It was undeniable that Shin Yaotian was too strong. He was worthy of being a genius disciple of the House of Kings. The fist shadows all struck the sword chi accurately and shattered it. Is this your attack? Brat, you're too weak. Go to hell. Shin Yaotian's expression was cold. In his opinion, although Lin Xian had exceeded his expectations, he was still weak. Lin Xian frowned slightly. His opponent's strength was beyond his expectations. He was worthy of being a top genius. However, it wasn't that easy to take his life. In the next moment, he withdrew the Wind Shadow Sword. He stretched out his right hand, and a pitch-black sword appeared in front of him. Sword of Nirvana. Lin Xian held the sword. Then the aura on his body changed. In addition to the monstrous sword intent, it also exuded an aura of death. It was as if the god of death had appeared, making people feel despair. As soon as this aura appeared, it immediately spread out in all directions of the hall. The warriors below felt this aura and were so shocked that they trembled. Many of them revealed looks of horror, especially those warriors who had mocked Lin Xian before. Now, their expressions were very ugly. Lin Xian's strength was far beyond their expectations. None of them were able to withstand the deathly aura emanating from him. Who is this brat? How can he have such a powerful martial skill? When did such a person appear in Quicksand City? I don't know. He might be a genius from outside the region. Everyone was discussing. No matter what, Lin Xian's strength had already shocked them. Chapter 598. Ma Rulong was also shocked. Previously, he had thought that Lin Xian had a good relationship with Nan Gongseng, which was why he had come to the rare treasure exchange. Now, it seemed like that wasn't the case. Nan Gongseng probably already knew about Lin Xian's strength, which was why he had brought him here. Furthermore, what shocked him even more was that the pitch-black sword in the void made his heart palpitate. Ma Rulong was shocked. For him to feel this way, it was enough to show how strong Lin Xian was. It has to be said that he had only felt this way when facing Shun Yaotian. The comparison between the two made him even more shocked. This Lin Xian was simply too unbelievable. He was only at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm, but his strength had already surpassed the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Looking at the pitch-black sword in the air, Shun Yaotian also frowned. For the first time, his expression became serious. That pitch-black sword made him feel a trace of danger. He hadn't felt this way in a long time, but now he felt it from a small cultivator at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Shun Yaotian suddenly felt a trace of anger in his heart. He decided that he had to get rid of Lin Xian. The star rings on his body shined even brighter, and a terrifying aura spread out from his body. This time, the power was even stronger than before. Lin Xian also held the Nirvana sword, and a deathly aura spread out from his body, as if it was going to suck away all the vitality in the surroundings. The two powerful forces continued to rise, as if they could collide at any moment. These two forces were too terrifying, and they had already surpassed the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. The surrounding cultivators all retreated and left the Silver Palace. They didn't dare to stay any longer. If they stayed any longer, they would all be sucked into that violent vortex. Lin Xian held the Nirvana sword in his hand, and his black hair fluttered in the wind. He was like an Azura from hell, and he carried a destructive aura. On the other side, Shun Yaotian was surrounded by stars. He was like a god of war, and he was extremely fierce. Just as the battle was about to break out, an even more imposing power appeared above the hall, enveloping the two of them. Lin Xian frowned. He was horrified. He felt that the Nirvana sword was being suppressed and was unable to move. On the other side, Shun Yaotian's expression was equally unsightly. His astral halo was also greatly suppressed, so much so that he couldn't even swing his fist. This was too inconceivable. One had to know that the two of them were already at the peak of the psychic realm. However, someone was actually able to suppress them with just their aura. One could only imagine the terrifying strength of this person. There was only one kind of person who could have such strength, and that was a venerable one. Moreover, they were not ordinary venerable ones. Sure enough, after the enormous pressure appeared, an aged voice resounded in the hall. "Ha ha, two little friends, please stop. Otherwise, my hall will be torn apart by the both of you." An old figure appeared in the void, looking at the two of them with a smile. At that moment, the people that had left earlier followed Ma Rulong in again. However, their expressions were filled with astonishment. "Elder!" Ma Rulong exclaimed when he saw the old man in the void. The old man in the void was their family's elder. He didn't expect him to make a move here. The Ma family's elder chuckled and said, "Two little friends, I know why you're making a move. How about this? I'll settle it for you. Why don't you give the spiritual medicine to me?" Hearing this, Lin Xian and Shen Yaotian fell silent. Soon Lin Xian said, "Since Senior wants it, I'll naturally comply." In fact, Lin Xian had thought about it carefully. The old man's identity was special. Moreover, he was an elder of the Ma family. He probably wouldn't do something like snatch it by force. Moreover, with the relationship between Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong, he should be able to obtain the corresponding exchange item. Therefore, Lin Xian was very straightforward and directly gave the spiritual medicine to the elder. The Ma family's elder instantly smiled with satisfaction when he heard Lin Xian's words. On the other hand, Shen Yaoqian's face was gloomy and slightly unsightly. Earlier, he'd said that he would definitely obtain the 3,000-year-old violet sunflower and even take Lin Xian as his battle servant. Yet now Lin Xian had displayed shocking combat strength and was even able to fight him. Moreover, the most detestable thing was that the spiritual medicine didn't belong to him anymore. If it was in the past, he would have slapped someone to death if they dared to fight him for the spiritual medicine. However, the person who wanted the spiritual medicine was an Exalt Realm elder. Moreover, the elder was an expert amongst Exalt Realm experts. He couldn't defeat the elder at all, so he could only admit defeat this time. "Since Senior wants it, then I naturally won't fight for it." Shen Yaotian spoke in a low voice, and then he turned around and gazed at Lin Xian with icy cold, killing intent in his eyes. "Kid, you better not let me see you again. Otherwise, it'll be the day you die. Let's go." Shen Yaotian grunted coldly, and then he led the group of cultivators away swiftly. Ma Rulong and the others heaved sighs of relief. Shen Yaotian was arrogant and unruly. If he really attacked, then the situation would be extremely troublesome. Even though their elder was very strong, he didn't dare to injure Shen Yaotian. After all, the House of Kings was standing behind Shen Yaotian. However, fortunately, Shen Yaotian didn't attack and left. The others heaved sighs of relief as well, and they had a lingering fear on their faces. Lin Xian's heart sank slightly. Shen Yaotian was a strong enemy, and he had to improve his strength. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for him to defeat Shen Yaotian. The elder descended from a dare and grinned as he gazed at Lin Xian. "Young friend, what do you intend to exchange for?" Lin Xian took out the 3,000-year-old violet sunflower and smiled. "Yes, I don't have any special requests. Senior, you can give me whatever you want." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian handed the violet sunflower over. "Young friend, you are indeed straightforward." The elder of the Ma family quickly took the spiritual medicine and examined it carefully. Soon, his old face became abnormally excited. "That's right. It is indeed a 3,000-year-old spiritual medicine. I didn't expect that I would finally be able to obtain a 3,000-year-old spiritual medicine in my lifetime." The elder of the Ma family's voice trembled, and he seemed very excited. The climate of the sand region was dry, and it wasn't suitable for spiritual medicine to grow. Therefore, spiritual medicine in this area was very rare, let alone a 3,000-year-old spiritual medicine. Although the elder of the Ma family was an honorable one, he was already very old. If he didn't have a fortuitous encounter, he wouldn't be able to break through at all. It was very likely that he would reach the end of his life in the near future. However, with this spiritual medicine, things were very different. At least he could prolong his life. By then, he might have a chance to break through. It could be said that the effect of this spiritual medicine was much greater for him than for other young warriors. That was why he was so excited. Since young friend is so straightforward, I won't mistreat you. The elder of the Ma family put away the spiritual medicine, then flipped his palm and took out a golden stone the size of a fist. This is a piece of metal origin crystal. It is a very precious item that can evolve treasured weapons and raise their grade. Chapter 599. This is a metal elemental crystal. It can upgrade a treasure by 1 level. The Ma family elder said with a smile. Upgrade by 1 level. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He looked at the pale golden stone in front of him in surprise. That old man was right. It's a metal elemental crystal. I didn't expect that old man to be so generous, the Crimson Dragon muttered. Hearing the Crimson Dragon's words, Lin Xian was relieved. Rosalong was an old demon. If even he didn't think it was a problem, then it must be true. Lin Xian nodded and smiled at the Ma family elder. Soon, the Ma family elder took out another item. This is a battle armor diagram. It's very powerful. It's said that if it can be made, even a venerable one will have a hard time breaking its defense. Even a venerable one can't break it. Lin Xian was stunned, then showed a suspicious expression. The Ma family elder smiled and explained, the requirements for making such a powerful battle armor are definitely not simple. It might even be very strict. Not only does it require a blacksmith grandmaster, but the materials required are also extremely precious. However, once it's made, its power will definitely be heaven-defying. I want to use it to exchange for the other 2,000-year-old spiritual herbs. What do you think? The Ma family elder looked expectant. It was obvious that he cared a lot about the spiritual herbs. Lin Xian pondered. Although the Ma family elder's description was very tempting, it was not certain if it could be made. It was like drawing a pie in the sky. However, Lin Xian was very curious about the battle armor. Okay, I'll trade. In the end, Lin Xian clenched his fist and said, "Ha! Young friend Lin is really straightforward." The Ma family elder laughed. "From now on, you're the Ma family's distinguished guest. If anyone dares to bully you, just tell them the Ma family's name." The Ma family elder was too excited. He quickly exchanged the items with Lin Xian and left excitedly. It couldn't be helped. For an old monster who didn't have much lifespan left, 1,000-year-old spiritual herb was too tempting. However, Lin Xian did not feel bad about it. Not to mention 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs, he still had a few 3,000-year-old ones. He even had a 5,000-year-old spiritual herb in his hands. That was the real treasure. Lin Xian took the ancient scroll and quickly opened it. Crimson Lotus battle armor. 4 ancient seals appeared. Soon after, exquisite diagrams appeared one after another. The records on the diagrams were extremely detailed, making people gasp in amazement. The dark red divine dragon stole a few glances and then sent a voice transmission. That old man wasn't lying. The effect of this armor is indeed very strong. Even an ordinary, venerable one might not be able to break it. However, it's very difficult to make it. This is an ancient armor, and some of the materials on it are about to disappear. The dark red divine dragon shook its head. "Kid, this is just the information on the surface. The real thing needs to be explored with your soul." Hearing this, Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and sent a wisp of his soul into the painting. The information inside was more detailed. He even saw a complete image of the Red Lotus battle armor. Lin Xian's heart was stirred. He had a vague idea of what was going on. Although the materials for the armor were difficult to find, he could use another method to condense the armor. That was the Dragon Sword Soul. The Dragon Sword Soul was very special. It was an offensive saint technique. It should be able to simulate the Red Lotus battle armor. If that was the case, then he would be rich. Lin Xian was overjoyed when he thought of this. The elder of the Ma family actually gave away such a precious treasure so casually. Presumably, in the elder's heart, this battle suit was something that was impossible to make. However, he did not know that Lin Xian had the dragon sword soul. Otherwise, he would not have taken out such a heaven-defying treasure. I've made a fortune this time. Lin Xian was so excited that he wanted to shout. Suppressing his excitement, Lin Xian followed Nan Gongseng and the others to participate in the rare treasure exchange. Half a day later, he left the strange space. He quickly returned to the quiet courtyard. He could not use the metal element origin crystal for the time being, because he had to find a Grandmaster blacksmith to use the origin crystal to upgrade the artifact. However, he could give the Red Lotus battle armor a try. Lin Xian took out the illusory spirit defense formation that he had obtained from the Wang family elder. He covered the entire courtyard and formed an illusory defense formation. Then he summoned the Snow White Monkey and the Crimson Dragon. After ensuring that it was safe, Lin Xian extended his soul and entered the ancient scroll. He skipped the production process and went straight to the final image of the battle armor. Amidst the hazy white mist, a bright red battle suit appeared in the void. Lin Xian could feel a frightening aura just by looking at the scene. If he could really make it, it would be extremely powerful. However, what he needed to do now was not to make it. Instead, he needed to comprehend the inscriptions on it and simulate it with the dragon sword soul. The image of the battle armor was very real. Every inscription on it was clearly visible. The inscriptions intersected with each other and finally formed a demonic red lotus that bloomed brightly. He did not know what grade the Red Lotus battle armor was. However, it must be extraordinary. The inscriptions on it were very complicated. Even with Lin Xian's soul power, he felt a headache coming on. However, hard work paid off. After 3 days, he finally mastered all the inscriptions. Next, he would use the Dragon Sword Soul to simulate the Red Lotus battle armor. This process was very difficult because the slightest mistake in the inscriptions would cause the entire battle armor to be destroyed. Fortunately, Lin Xian's soul power was strong, and his willpower was tenacious. Finally, after 5 days, he successfully condensed the Red Lotus battle armor. The spiritual power in his body surged and quickly intersected on the surface of his body, forming mysterious patterns. Soon, a bright red battle armor appeared and covered Lin Xian's body. On it, a demonic red lotus bloomed brightly. Lin Xian tried it out and found that it was better than he had imagined. Its defense had surpassed his gold thunder body. This result made him very excited. If it was so powerful just by condensing spiritual power, it would definitely be a heaven-defying existence. Moreover, the Red Lotus battle armor made up for Lin Xian's lack of defense. Although the gold thunder body was powerful, it was not very useful at the moment. Against ordinary warriors, there was no need for him to activate the gold thunder body. However, against top geniuses, the gold thunder body was useless. For example, when he faced Shen Yaotian, his gold thunder body was not useful at all. However, the appearance of the Red Lotus battle armor solved this problem. Its defense had surpassed the gold thunder body. Lin Xian was confident that if he faced Shen Yaotian again, he could definitely withstand his opponent's attacks with the Red Lotus battle armor. Next, as long as his cultivation broke through another level, he would be able to compete with Shen Yaotian in terms of combat power. Lin Xian put away the Red Lotus battle armor and went into seclusion to cultivate again. This time, he wanted to raise his cultivation level. Chapter 600. Holding the high-grade primal yang stone with both hands, Lin Xian circulated the longevity art with all his strength. Pure yang energy quickly entered his body. This primal yang stone was truly worthy of being a top grade, or its effect was much better than spirit stones. Furthermore, the pure yang energy inside was extremely pure. He didn't need to use much strength to convert it into his own energy. This greatly increased Lin Xian's cultivation speed. It wasn't just him. The Crimson Dragon and the Snow White Monkey were also absorbing the primal yang stone. However, the Snow White Monkey was too strange. Even after absorbing so many primal yang stones, it still hadn't changed. On the other hand, the Crimson Dragon's body had undergone a shocking change. It hadn't stopped absorbing primal yang stones in the past few days. Its cultivation base had originally been at the early stage of the spirit-detecting realm, but now it had reached the late stage. Even its body had doubled in size. Seeing its breakthrough, the Crimson Dragon excitedly roared. Then it looked at the palm-sized monkey and sneered, "Little guy, you're too stupid. Even after absorbing so much primal yang stones, you haven't changed at all." The Snow White Monkey stared at the small bowl with disdain. Then its body flickered, and it turned into a ray of white light. It arrived in front of the Crimson Dragon and slammed its furry paw down. Bang! The Crimson Dragon saw stars and fainted. F***CK. After a while, the Crimson Dragon recovered and angrily cursed. Its cultivation base had broken through, and its strength had increased. But it still hadn't been able to dodge the Snow White Monkey's paw. This was too hateful. The Crimson Dragon was depressed. It no longer dared to provoke the Snow White Monkey and obediently went to absorb the primal yang stones. Within the courtyard, one man and two beasts were rapidly cultivating. One primal yang stone after another dimmed. Lin Xian quickly exchanged for more. This time he had to break through to the late stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Just as Lin Xian was cultivating, Quicksand City became lively once more. Shen Yaotian, a genius, was quickly recognized by everyone. Moreover, he was creating one legend after another. There was even news that Shen Yaotian had secretly fought with a genius from a certain sand region. As for the result, no one knew. However, Shen Yaotian was able to fight against the top prodigies of the Sand region. This was enough to prove how powerful he was. "Who do you think Shen Yaotian fought against?" someone asked. "Xiao Gan, He Muya, Zhao Su, Qinyang. Any of the four masters could be him." Everyone was discussing excitedly. It wasn't just Shen Yaotian. More and more geniuses were pouring into Quicksand City, starting to challenge the various arenas. After a period of recuperation, the Wang family's battle arena became active again. This time, they had spent a lot of money to hire a group of experts. These people were far more powerful than Huishao. It could be said that not only did the strength of the Wang clan's battle arena not decrease, it had instead increased. They were even looking forward to Lin Xian's visit. "Damn thief. You actually disappeared. Damn it. This kind of person is trash. If he dares to come to the battle arena again, he won't be able to return." The Wang family disciples sneered. They hated Lin Xian to the core. Originally, they were afraid of Lin Xian's strength. During that time, they were even on tenterhooks, afraid that Lin Xian would come knocking on their door. However, their family had now invested heavily in a group of experts, greatly increasing the strength of their battle arena. Therefore, the Wang family disciples became arrogant again. "What kind of genius is he? He's actually a coward. He's just an undeserved reputation. Rumors can't be trusted. What Lin Xian? He's just a piece of trash. If he comes, I'll beat him with one hand." The new warriors who joined the Wang family's battle arena sneered. They had just joined, so naturally they wanted to start with Lin Xian. Beat him with one hand? How arrogant! "I'm here. Why don't you try?" A cold snort sounded. Then A figure appeared in the center of the battle arena like a ghost. Whoosh! Everyone was shocked. They only felt a black shadow float by. It was so fast that their eyes couldn't catch up at all. Lin Xian. It's Lin Xian. What? He really came? Damn, it's going to be lively after class. Everyone exclaimed, looking excited. They wouldn't forget that it was this young man who had challenged the Wang family's experts and obtained 10 consecutive victories. And now, this genius young man had appeared again. Humph, you're Lin Xian? There's nothing special about you. Kid, you dare to come out? You're courting death. Opposite them, the warriors invited by the Wang family stared coldly at Lin Xian. They had naturally heard of Lin Xian's 10 consecutive victories. It was also because of this that they were invited. Therefore, these people wanted to kill Lin Xian. As long as they killed Lin Xian, not only would they receive the astronomical reward from the Wang family, but they would also become famous in Quicksand City. This was definitely the best opportunity to gain both fame and fortune. Kid, let this young master fight you. Come up and die. I can defeat you with one hand. The group of people clamored. Their spirit energy surged, forming a terrifying aura. These people were all at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. They were even stronger than Huashao, and could be said to be very powerful. The surrounding people were shocked and couldn't help but worry for Lin Xian. Although Lin Xian had defeated Huashao before, the other party was only one person. Now, there were 5 or 6 limit spirit-detecting realm warriors. This lineup was on a completely different level from the previous one. In their view, no matter how strong Lin Xian was, it was impossible for him to defeat so many limit spirit-detecting realm warriors. When the Wang family saw Lin Xian, their expressions were cold, and their bodies were filled with killing intent. Not only had they been challenged, but they had also lost 2 elders. At this moment, when they saw Lin Xian, their eyes were exceptionally red. Damn it, this time we must kill this despicable thief. Don't worry, this time we invited 5 limit spirit detecting realm warriors. That thief definitely won't be able to escape. I will let him know the consequences of offending the Wang family. Pass down the order. Prepare the martial stage for the battle. In front, the 5 limit spirit detecting realm warriors sneered and stared at Lin Xian like fierce wolves. Lin Xian's face was calm. He said indifferently, "You don't have to fight. Come at me together." What? Together? Everyone was stunned. They suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. Those were 5 limit spirit detecting realm warriors. Wasn't it too crazy to ask them to come at him together? Other than those top prodigies, no one would dare to say such a thing. Everyone was stunned and looked at Lin Xian. The 5 limit spirit detecting realm warriors' faces were even more gloomy. They wanted nothing more than to tear Lin Xian apart immediately. This was an insult. This was definitely a naked insult. A mid-stage spirit detecting realm brat dared to speak to them like this. Brat, you are courting death. You dare to challenge the dignity of limit warriors? No one can stop you. Very good, you have successfully angered me. I will torture you to death later. The spirit-detecting realm warriors were filled with killing intent. Being looked down upon in front of so many people made them go crazy. They had to kill this despicable thief in front of them to regain their dignity. Chapter 601. The group of extreme masters invited by the Wang family's Colosseum were all staring at Lin Xian with murderous intent. One of them was very angry. His figure flashed, and he instantly appeared in the arena. Kid, come and die. This voice was full of murderous intent. Lin Xian looked up and saw that the young man in the arena had a pale face and thin cheeks. From afar, he looked like a bamboo. You can come, Lin Xian said with a smile. But you're so thin. Won't you be blown away by my wind concept? Hearing this, the surrounding warriors could not help but laugh. The thin and tall young man in the arena was so angry that he shouted, "You're pissing me off. Kid, hurry up and die." Lin Xian snorted coldly. His figure flashed, and he instantly appeared in the arena. His speed was amazing. The bamboo youth was shocked. Based on this speed alone, his opponent was not inferior to him. It seemed that this kid had some skills, but it was impossible to beat him. "Take my move, Water Moon Slash." The bamboo youth's voice sounded. His body suddenly erupted with a terrifying aura. It was like a wave that swept out in all directions. At this moment, the surrounding warriors no longer dared to laugh because that aura made their hearts tremble. Swoosh, swoosh. The bamboo youth slashed down with his saber. A dazzling saber light filled the air and scattered in all directions. The void split open and a terrifying crack appeared. It was a shocking sight. On the arena, the dazzling saber light was like a waterfall. It was more than 100 feet long and covered most of the arena. Not bad. The opponent this time is much stronger than before. It seems that the Wang family really put in a lot of effort. A slightly joking voice sounded from the arena. In the next moment, a green light appeared in front of the dazzling saber light. It quickly spun and formed a hurricane. The crystal-clear green wind whirled and whistled. Lin Xian's figure could be vaguely seen in the hurricane. Furious wind, accompanied by a deep sound. The green gust of wind quickly spread out like a violent hurricane. The terrifying wind was even sharper than a bejeweled weapon, mercilessly slicing through everything. With Lin Xian as the epicenter, the terrifying azure wind quickly spread throughout the entire arena. Clang, clang, the bamboo youth's dazzling saber light collided with the raging wind, and a crisp cracking sound echoed in the air. In the blink of an eye, countless saber auras split apart and scattered all over the ground. "What? This is impossible." The bamboo youth roared as he stared blankly at the scene before him. That was his ultimate move. Originally, he had planned to make a sudden move right from the start and smoothly take down Lin Xian. That would definitely increase his fame. However, he did not expect that his attack would actually be broken. Not a single attack landed on Lin Xian. Humph. Lin Xian snorted coldly as he floated in the air, surrounded by countless raging winds. In the next moment, under his command, countless gusts of wind swept towards the young man with a bamboo pole. Soon, the bamboo youth was blown out of the window by the strong wind. It was not that he did not want to resist, but that the azure wind was too terrifying. The concept contained within was very profound and was several times stronger than other attacks. He did not dare to resist at all. "I told you that you were too skinny and would be blown away. You didn't believe me." Lin Xian shrugged with a smile. Hearing this, the bamboo youth's mouth twitched. His body trembled, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was ashen as he gritted his teeth and quickly left the Wang family's arena. Shameful, too shameful. He probably would not dare to return here in the future. Everyone was shocked as they stared blankly at Lin Xian. To be able to defeat a martial artist at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm in one move, it seemed that Lin Xian's strength had improved a lot. Everyone exclaimed with a trace of fear in their voices. It must be known that the bamboo youth was even stronger than Huashao from before. However, he was unable to withstand even a single blow from Lin Xian and was directly blown away. This Lin Xian is too terrifying. Every time he appears, he brings a new shock. Didn't you notice? His aura is no longer at the middle stage of the spirit-detecting realm. An expert said this piece of news. Immediately, everyone carefully sensed it and revealed shocked expressions. The late stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Heavens, he actually broke through again. When he was At the middle stage of the spirit detecting realm, Lin Xian was already very powerful. Now that he had broken through to the late stage, his strength must have increased exponentially. No wonder the bamboo youth was defeated in one move. The Wang family's faces were ashen as they trembled with anger. Damn it! How could it be like this? They could not believe it. They had spent a lot of effort to bring in 5 martial artists at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm to increase the strength of the arena. They did not expect to be mercilessly slapped in the face in the first battle. Moreover, it was the same youth who slapped them in the face. How could they survive in the future? In the arena, the faces of the martial artists invited by the Wang family also darkened. Previously, they had said that they would kill Lin Xian with one hand. Now, one of their companions had been sent flying with one palm. This was a huge irony. "Brat, I'll fight you." A loud voice rang out, causing the void to tremble. Then a muscular figure appeared in front of everyone. He was tall, and his muscles were entrenched like dragons. His entire body was like an iron tower, and every step he took caused the ground to tremble. This was definitely a strength-type expert. The Iron Tower youth carried a huge battle axe on his back. At this moment, he pulled out the battle axe with one hand and raised it to the sky. His entire body was like a barbaric war god, emitting a terrifying aura. "Take my strongest attack." Dominating sky axe, the Iron Tower youth roared. Then he held the giant axe with both hands and quickly slashed downwards. Suddenly, countless sparks appeared in the air, and there was an ear-piercing demonic sound. This was caused by the friction between the giant axe and the air. This axe could be said to be extremely domineering. The attack was like a thunderstorm, carrying with it an earth-shattering force as it slashed towards Lin Xian. Wherever it passed, the ground and the void were split in half, and terrifying cracks appeared. Even the surrounding defensive shield trembled violently, as if it could not withstand it. Lin Xian's expression was calm. He raised his right hand, and golden electric arcs danced on it. The sky was filled with golden lightning and intertwined, forming a huge palm of lightning. It was dozens of feet long, and emitted a golden light. Above the palm of light, there were complicated inscriptions that revealed traces of inexplicable power. The golden palm of light fell and quickly streaked across the void. Sparks flew everywhere, and there was a burning smell in the void, accompanied by the shocking sound of thunder and dazzling light. Boom! The golden palm of light roared and collided with the opponent's giant battle axe, causing a wild explosion in the void. In an instant, with Lin Xian as the center, violent lightning and terrifying energy quickly charged and covered the entire arena. The scene was extremely terrifying, as if it was the end of the world. Everyone was shocked. They could feel the terror inside, even though they were separated by the defensive shield. What will the result be? Who will win? Many people were looking forward to it. Chapter 602. Everyone looked at the arena with anticipation. The dust settled, and a figure flew out. Everyone was shocked. When they looked carefully, they sucked in a breath of cold air. The figure that flew out was the tower-like young man from before. His body was surrounded by golden lightning. His hair was messy, and there were many burn marks on his body. The tower-like young man landed on the ground and looked at Lin Xian in horror. His strength was tyrannical, and he had never lost to anyone in close combat. But today, he was defeated in the hands of a young man. Moreover, if the other party had not held back, he would have been killed by the lightning. He had looked down on Lin Xian and thought that it was just a rumor. Now that he had experienced it himself, he knew how terrifying Lin Xian was. After defeating the tower-like young man with one palm, Lin Xian stood proudly and looked down. "The three of you can come at me together. Don't waste time." Hearing that, the crowd was in an uproar. Domineering, too domineering. Lin Xian wanted to take on 3 ultimate powerhouses by himself. That was crazy. If it had been before, they would not have believed it. However, they had seen Lin Xian defeat 2 ultimate powerhouses in 2 moves. His strength was too strong. Below, the 3 ultimate powerhouses had ugly looks on their faces. They were all powerhouses in their own right. Usually they looked down on everyone and did not take anyone seriously. Now, someone dared to look down on them? The 3 of them were furious. However, if they were to face Lin Xian alone, they were not confident. After all, although they were strong, their combat strength was about the same as the previous 2. The defeat of the previous 2 had deeply infuriated them. Therefore, they did not dare to go alone. When the Wang family elder saw this, his face darkened. They knew that Lin Xian's strength had increased. An ultimate spiritual detecting realm martial artist would not be a match for him. Pass down the order. Let the 3 of them come at him together, the black-robed elder said in a deep voice. Together, the Wang family disciples trembled. A group attack was something that had never happened before. Moreover, to let 3 ultimate powerhouses attack a late-stage spiritual detecting realm martial artist, they would be laughed at. Seemingly knowing what the Wang clan disciples were thinking, the black-robed elder harumphed coldly. "Do you think that you won't be mocked if you go up alone? At that time, we will lose even more miserably. Why don't we let the 3 of them join forces and directly kill that little bastard on the arena? Even though we'll lose some reputation this way, we'll be able to cut off any future troubles." "Yes," the Wang clan disciple replied, respectfully. Soon after, the 3 peak spirit detecting martial artists received the news. The 3 of them had heavy hearts. They never thought that the Wang clan would really send all 3 of them at the same time. Taking deep breaths, the 3 of them exchanged glances. Right now, they had no other choice. It would be better for the 3 of them to fight together. If they won, they could even become heroes of the Wang clan. "Brat, you're the one courting death. Don't blame us." The 3 of them grinned maliciously and jumped onto the stage. "What? The 3 of them are really going to attack together? F***CK, this is too crazy." Everyone was shocked. They had never seen such a scene before. For a time, the entire great martial stage was thrown into chaos. Not only that, but this news quickly spread out. After the martial artists of Quicksand City heard this news, they quickly rushed over. "This is crazy. In the history of Quicksand City, I don't think anyone has done this before." Seeing the 3 of them join forces, Lin Xian's lips curled in disdain. "Hurry up and make your move. Don't waste my time. You're courting death." The 3 of them were enraged. At this time, Lin Xian still dared to look down on them. This caused their hearts to burn with anger. It had to be known that the 3 of them were peak spirit detecting martial artists. With the 3 of them joining forces, they had the confidence to challenge a genius. Dealing with a single Lin Xian was an easy matter. Silver River Waterfall. The youth in the middle roared. His hands danced, and rays of dazzling light flowed out from his fingertips, forming a hazy water bottle. He held the water bottle with both hands and raised it high into the air. Suddenly, a silver waterfall flew out and surged in the air. The river surged, and the water crashed into each other. The crisp sound spread in all directions, as if a real waterfall was flowing in the air. Every drop of water contained a terrifying amount of energy. As they collided with each other, they constantly superimposed their strength. The silver waterfall surged and quickly flew toward Lin Xian. Wind slash! Lin Xian waved one of his arms, and a ball of green light appeared, instantly forming a dazzling green wind blade. With a swift and fierce aura, it was like a green flood that quickly slashed forward. Puff, crack, The two collided, creating a huge collision. Sparks flew everywhere, and energy surged. The void was in chaos. In the end, the sharp wind blade exploded, cutting the silver waterfall into several pieces. All of this happened in an instant. By the time everyone reacted, the battle had already ended. Attack together. The youth in the middle roared. Immediately, the martial artists on both sides also quickly attacked. The three of them joined forces, creating a terrifying momentum. Silver River Waterfall, Purple Flame Ball, Flickering Light Shadow. In an instant, three terrifying attacks shot out, rushing toward Lin Xian from three different directions, sealing him in the void. The three attacks were too fierce, and they carried a vast amount of energy as they streaked across the void. Wind, thunder, cut. Lin Xian was not afraid. The power of wind and thunder surged in his hand, intertwining to form a wind-thunder light blade that whizzed out. The light blade whizzed, and as soon as it appeared, it emitted a powerful aura. The entire void rumbled, and countless raging winds and thunder exploded, sweeping in all directions. Lin Xian held the wind-thunder light blade in his hand and swept it in front of him. Streaks of wind and thunder splashed, quickly cutting the void in front of him. The terrifying momentum was monstrous. He was fighting one against three like a god of war. The four of them moved quickly in the air, constantly exchanging blows. Their speed was extremely fast. In the crowd below, only a few experts could see the four's movements clearly. The others could only see the occasional energy explosion in the void, but they could not see the figures at all. At this time, more and more martial artists rushed into the Wang family's arena. When they saw the battle in the void, they immediately exclaimed. When they heard that someone was fighting one against three, they did not believe it at all. They thought that it was a deliberate rumor, but now it seemed that there really was a madman fighting. Who is this person? He's so strong, so arrogant. Many newcomers asked. Not long after, they found out that the madman was called Lin Xian, an 18-year-old youth. Just as everyone was exclaiming, another person arrived. Nan Gongseng, Ma Rulong, and the others arrived. When they saw the scene in the arena, they were slightly surprised. Black Pearl went to bed happily. She would not miss out on Lin Xian's match. What? This damn guy actually bet 5 million spiritual stones. When Black Pearl heard that Lin Xian had bet 5 million mid-grade spiritual stones, she exclaimed. Her seductive little mouth opened wide. She had just bet and found out that the odds were 1-8. In other words, if Lin Xian won, he would receive 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones. This was a shocking number. This guy should win. Black Pearl's little face was nervous. Chapter 603. Lin Xian was fighting one against three, which shocked everyone. However, the Wang family was still the most oppressed. It could be said that, at this moment, they were extremely nervous. If the three of them could kill Lin Xian, it would be a happy ending. If they failed, the Wang family's dojo would fall into the abyss. The situation was not good. The black-robed elder frowned. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so strong that he could fight against three spiritual detecting realm martial artists. Before this, Lin Xian's performance was very dazzling. However, he did not expect the three spiritual detecting realm martial artists to be unable to take him down. However, the battle before them was like a sharp sword that pierced deeply into the hearts of the Wang family members. The three ultimate warriors were even more shocked. The three of them had used all their strength and used their strongest techniques, but they were still unable to take down Lin Xian. They did not even manage to hurt him. Lin Xian was too fast. Not only did he control the concept of wind, but he also had an earth rank movement technique. The combination of the two made his speed extremely fast. There were probably very few people below the martial venerable realm who could compare to him. Although the three of them worked together and had extremely powerful attacks, they could not catch up to Lin Xian's speed. If they could not hurt him, their techniques were useless. No matter how violent they were useless. Lin Xian used the illusory demonic steps. His body was like a flickering shadow as he shuttled through the dense attacks. He was very confident and at ease. There was even a hint of contempt in his expression. This time, he must completely defeat the Wang family's dojo. Sensing the contempt in Lin Xian's expression, the three ultimate warriors roared madly. Don't hold back anymore. Use your strongest attacks. We must kill this little bastard here. A martial artist roared madly. His black hair fluttered, and the spiritual energy in his body surged like a divine flame. Okay. The other two martial artists also responded. The three of them worked together and decided to use their strongest attacks. I wanted to play with you for a while. Since you're in a hurry to die, let's end it. Lin Xian's voice was cold, as if he was playing a game. You're courting death. How dare you die, brat? The three of them roared, wishing they could cut Lin Xian down with their swords. Crack! Lin Xian's figure swayed, leaving behind a series of afterimages in the air. On his body, the two concepts of wind and thunder burst out at the same time, blooming with a dazzling light. Balls of green air intertwined with golden lightning, forming the power of wind and thunder that circled around him. Countless gusts of wind and electric blades shuttled back and forth, creating a terrifying scene. The power of wind and thunder surged, forming a huge formation that pressed down on the three of them. In an instant, the three of them felt their bodies tighten. They felt a powerful force of wind and thunder surrounding them. The terrifying aura made their bodies tremble slightly. Damn it, break for me! Milky Way dragon transformation. In the air, the silver waterfall surged, splitting into countless silver flood dragons. They roared ferociously as they shuttled back and forth, trying to break through the wind and thunder diagram. Lin Xian smiled disdainfully. With a tap of his foot, he instantly appeared in front of an ultimate powerhouse like a bolt of lightning. He threw out a palm strike that carried the power of wind and lightning, surging towards that cultivator. Boom! The shadow of the palm carried the power of wind and thunder as it whizzed past, crashing into that cultivator in an instant. That ultimate powerhouse was shocked. He did not expect Lin Xian's speed to be so fast. In a panic, he hurriedly threw out a punch. The fist and the palm collided, and the terrifying power of wind and thunder exploded. The violent aura was like a ripple that spread out in all directions. In an instant, that ultimate powerhouse was hit by the wind and thunder, his body twitching nonstop. On his body, powerful bolts of lightning destroyed his body, and the power of wind formed a strong resistance, slowing down his movements. In an instant, he was stunned on the spot. His body twitched nonstop, and black smoke rose from it. With another palm strike, that ultimate powerhouse fell to the ground like a meteor. So fast. What? Someone was killed. The people below were shocked, and the hearts of the remaining two ultimate spirituality realm warriors were beating wildly. However, Lin Xian did not give them any time to think. He left a trail of afterimages and quickly attacked the other ultimate powerhouse. His palm fell, forming a huge palm of wind and thunder in the void. It was like a giant hand that covered the sky, pressing down on that cultivator. Before the palm landed, the martial artist below began to tremble. An astonishing aura enveloped him, and the terrifying lightning caused him to twitch incessantly. Retreat. Faced with such a violent attack, that ultimate powerhouse did not dare to take it head-on. He could only choose to retreat. However, Lin Xian's wind concept caused the surrounding air to freeze. That ultimate powerhouse's speed was greatly reduced, and he could not escape at all. In an instant, another person was defeated. The crowd exclaimed, and countless people went crazy. The Wang family elder and the others' faces darkened. They knew that they had lost this battle, and that the remaining cultivator would not be of much use. As expected, that last cultivator still wanted to struggle, but Lin Xian's fingers flicked, and a ball of wind and thunder appeared in his hand. As he waved, the ball of wind and thunder quickly expanded, and finally covered more than half of the arena, destroying all the silver dragons. That cultivator was also sent flying, vomiting blood. In the blink of an eye, all three ultimate powerhouses were defeated. This scene was too shocking. Lin Xian fought 1 against 3, and he won by a landslide. Lin Xian! Lin Xian! Many cultivators shouted excitedly. They had all bet on Lin Xian's victory, and now they all received 8 times the amount of spirit stones. Those who lost kept cursing. They blamed the Wang family's arena, and at the same time, they were deeply shocked by Lin Xian's strength. Humph! Suddenly, a cold snort came from the depths of the Wang family's arena. The voice was like a clap of thunder. It was not loud at first, but it exploded in the air, and the cultivators below turned pale. Oh, no, it's a venerable. A venerable is about to attack. Nan Gongseng's expression changed. The other cultivators were also frightened. They did not expect the Wang family's venerable to attack. The Wang family was stunned, and then they were overjoyed. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was definitely not a match for a venerable. Brat, I'll let you be arrogant again. Die. You can't escape death after offending the Wang family. The black-robed elder sneered. Following that cold snort, a monstrous pressure spread in all directions. It was like 100,000 mountains pressing down on everyone's heads, making it hard for them to breathe. Especially Lin Xian. He felt a powerful force fill the surroundings, as if it was going to crush him. Venerable, Lin Xian's face was gloomy, and his eyes shone with a shocking light. He channeled the great dragon sword soul in his body, wanting to unleash his strongest attack to escape the Venerable's cage. However, before he could move, a loud laugh was heard, and the cage around him was instantly shattered. Ha ha ha! When did the Wang family become so shameless? A venerable one actually dares to bully a junior. How capable! Although the voice was laughing, the sarcasm was obvious. Chapter 604. Everyone was shocked. Someone actually dared to mock a venerable one. Was he tired of living? However, there were also some people who were solemn because they noticed that the other person's aura was also very powerful. It was obvious that the other party was also a venerable one. 2 venerable ones had appeared for Lin Xian. This was too shocking. One had to know that venerable ones usually would not participate in the matters of the arena. Now, a young man had attracted the attention of 2 venerable ones. This was definitely big news. The Wang family's venerable one was mocked, and immediately snorted coldly. A beam of light shot down from the sky like a world-destroying divine light and quickly pierced towards Lin Xian. Wherever it passed, a turbulent airwave was created. This attack was very ferocious. A trace of it could kill a martial artist below the venerable realm. At this moment, it was charging towards Lin Xian with the determination to kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian's heart was solemn. He was still unable to fight against a venerable one, but if he wanted to leave, the Wang family's venerable one would not be able to stop him. However, he did not leave because the other venerable one had made a move. A sea of blue light formed beside him. It was like an endless sea, and it carried a vast amount of power as it protected Lin Xian. Boom, bang. The attacks of the Venerable Ones collided, creating a terrifying storm. Fortunately, the two of them stopped in time and quickly restrained themselves. Otherwise, the entire arena would have been razed to the ground. Humph. Old Ma, this young man doesn't seem to be from your Ma family, right? It doesn't seem appropriate for you to attack like this. The Wang family's Venerable One snorted coldly. Inappropriate? What's wrong? An old man appeared in the void. It was the elder of the Ma family who had exchanged spiritual herbs with Lin Xian that day. The one who broke the rules seems to be your Wang family. Elder Ma said with a smile, I'll definitely protect Lin Xian. Also, let the young people settle their matters. This is the rule of Quicksand City. Although Elder Ma's voice was not loud, it was sonorous and powerful, causing the Wang family's disciples to tremble. The group of people's expressions were ugly as they stared fiercely at the void. However, they could not resist a Venerable One. They could only place their hopes on their clan's Venerable Realm Elders. However, to their disappointment, their Venerable One Elder was indeed silent this time, as if he agreed with what the Ma family elder said. Elder, the Wang family disciples were unwilling to accept this. If they could solve this problem themselves, why would they look for a supreme expert? It was obvious that they couldn't solve the current situation. The Wang family's Venerable coldly snorted. If you can't even deal with a spirit-detecting realm brat, how are you going to manage the family in the future? I'll give you a chance to resolve this matter. Otherwise, you don't have to come back. With that, the Venerable One fell silent. The faces of the Wang family members darkened. They did not expect that the Venerable Ones and elders of their clan would not care about them anymore. For a moment, they were all stunned. The other martial artists were also shocked. The Wang family's supreme expert had actually retreated. Was it over just like that? In fact, those who were paying attention were all looking at the old figure in the sky with a trace of fear. It was obvious that the Venerable One from the Wang family had fallen to the lower ranks. This was the real reason why the Venerable One from the Wang family retreated. Otherwise, the rule that a Venerable One could not attack a junior would not make a dignified Venerable One retreat. The Ma family elder looked old, but he was an old monster who had lived for hundreds of years. His cultivation was abnormally powerful, and he was a very powerful existence among the Venerables. At this moment, he had personally stepped forward to protect Lin Xian. Perhaps no one in Quicksand City would dare to attack Lin Xian. Of course, that was only limited to the old monsters. They could not and would not care about the matters of the younger generation. Thank you, Senior, for your help. Lin Xian looked up and thanked him. He did not expect the Ma family elder to step in at the last moment. This was good. Not only was he safe, but he also did not have to expose his trump card. Haha, little friend, you're too serious. Speaking of which, I have to thank you for giving me this chance. The Ma family elder smiled, and then his figure gradually disappeared. Don't worry. After this, I don't think the old monsters of Quicksand City will attack you again. The old voice was still echoing, but the figure had already disappeared. Everyone was shocked. No one knew how the figure disappeared. However, they were even more shocked by the Ma family elder's words. Listening to it, Lin Xian seemed to have helped this Venerables. If this was true, then it was too unbelievable. One had to know that Venerables were true powerhouses. They were the overlords of a region. Basically, there was nothing in the world that could trouble them, and the things that could trouble them must be extremely difficult, and Lin Xian could occasionally help a Venerables. This was too shocking. For a moment, Lin Xian not only became powerful in the hearts of everyone, but also incomparably mysterious. Countless people wanted to know Lin Xian's background, but they found that Lin Xian was like a mystery. They could not find any information about him. Lin Xian stood on the martial stage. His gaze swept, and he asked in a deep voice, "Is there anyone else from the Wang family who wants to fight? Of course, if you think you're not strong enough, you can come together." Lin Xian's voice echoed in the surroundings, and it did not dissipate for a long time. Arrogant, too arrogant. To challenge the entire Wang clan single-handedly, this scene was too shocking. The surrounding people were excited. They could only feel their blood boiling. They were all ordinary people. Usually, they could only look up to such a powerful force. Even if they were bullied by such a force, they did not dare to fight back. They could only swallow their anger. But now, someone dared to challenge such a powerful force and even succeeded. To everyone, this was simply a miracle, a rage that could shatter mountains and rivers, a person who could suppress a group of heroes. This was something that countless martial artists dreamed of. Now Lin Xian had helped them realize it. The Wang family disciples' feelings were the complete opposite. They even wanted to die. Ever since the venerables in the family retreated, they had lost all their strength. Even the venerables could not do anything to Lin Xian, so they had no way to do anything. Now, they felt a trace of regret in their hearts. Why did they provoke the assassin Lin Xian? If they had followed the rules back then, there would not be such a disaster now. However, there was no use in regretting some things. The Wang family was now on a path of no return. Now, they had no combat power. The 5 ultimate powerhouses they invited had all been defeated, and the rest were no match for him. "Young man, there's no need to fight anymore. You've won." The black-robed elder appeared, his voice cold. Everyone was shocked. The Wang family's dojo had admitted defeat. This news was too shocking. "Oh, is that so?" Lin Xian shrugged. "I bet 5 million spiritual stones. With this, I'll get 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones. Can the Wang family afford that?" "What? 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones?" Everyone exclaimed and gasped. This was an astronomical figure. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so bold. He dared to bet 5 million spiritual stones. Was he not afraid of losing? However, behind this boldness was a great temptation. The odds of 1 to 8 allowed Lin Xian to get 40 million spiritual stones. Hearing this, the Wang family members trembled. The black-robed elder's mouth twitched. Chapter 605. Hearing this, the black-robed elder's mouth twitched. 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones was not a small sum. Even the Wang family could not afford it in such a short time. With a cold snort, the black-robed elder looked at Lin Xian with undisguised killing intent. He knew that Lin Xian had bet 5 million spiritual stones. However, he did not think that Lin Xian could win, so he did not care about the 5 million spiritual stones. However, he did not expect that Lin Xian would win, and the odds were 1/8. As a result, the Wang family had to pay 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones. The black-robed elder felt his heart bleeding. Moreover, what made it even more difficult for him was that if Lin Xian wanted to exchange the spiritual stones immediately, the Wang family would not be able to afford it. By then, they would definitely become the laughingstock of Quicksand City. Lin Xian saw the black-robed elder's ugly expression and smiled. He did not need to guess to know the Wang family's current predicament. However, this was good news for him because it was very beneficial for what he was going to do next. With a smile, Lin Xian looked at the black-robed elder. "Now, there is a chance to save the Wang family." "Chance? What chance?" The black-robed elder frowned. He did not know what Lin Xian was playing. "Do you dare to make a bet with me?" "Bet on what?" "You and I will fight. If you lose 40 million spiritual stones, I will not take a single cent. Moreover, The 5 million mid-grade spiritual stones will be given to the Wang family. Hearing this, the black-robed elder frowned with a hint of surprise. He did not believe that there was such a good deal in the world. "What do you want?" the black-robed elder asked in a deep voice. "Very simple. If you lose, the Wang family's martial arts arena will be mine." "You are courting death." The black-robed elder was furious. He did not expect that Lin Xian would dare to have designs on their martial arts arena. The surrounding crowd was also in an uproar. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so bold as to make such a shocking bet. One had to know that 40 million spirit stones was an enormous amount of wealth. Ordinary people wouldn't dare to use it as a wager. Seeing the black-robed old man's reaction, Lin Xian wasn't angry at all. He shrugged and casually said, "It's fine if you don't want to bet. Then take out 40 million mid-grade spirit stones. I need them urgently." Hearing this, everyone from the Wang family felt their eyelids twitch. 40 million mid-grade spiritual stones was not something that could be found anywhere. How could they take it out so quickly? The black-robed elder frowned. They were indeed in a predicament. Then he began to carefully consider what Lin Xian had just said. After some analysis, he realized that it was not impossible to defeat Lin Xian. Although Lin Xian was strong, his true battle power was only at the peak of the spirit detecting realm. He was only at the peak of the spirit detecting realm. As an elder of the Wang family, he had been at the peak of the spirit detecting realm for almost 100 years. His strength and foundation were very strong, and normal peak spirit detecting realm martial artists were not his match. He could have easily won against the 3 ultimate powerhouses from before. Therefore, he was still confident that he could defeat Lin Xian. Moreover, as an elder, his wealth couldn't be compared to those normal young martial artists. He had excellent treasures and secret techniques in his hands. As long as he used his full strength, he could definitely defeat Lin Xian. "I can accept your challenge, but I don't know if you'll keep your word," the black-robed elder asked. "Of course," Lin Xian said. "How can I go back on my word when I've said it in front of so many people? Okay, I agree to your request." Hearing this, everyone below was shocked. They didn't expect the Wang family to really agree to such a challenge. If they lost, the Wang family's dojo would change owners. This was definitely the biggest bet in Quicksand City in the past 100 years. "If you want to fight, you can, but first you have to sign the contract," Lin Xian said. The black-robed elder's face darkened. He said in a deep voice, "You don't trust our Wang family. I don't trust you with your style. It's inevitable that you'll go back on your word when you lose, so it's better to write it clearly in advance." You, the black-robed elder, trembled with anger. The Wang family members were also furious. Lin Xian didn't care about the Wang family's reaction. Instead, he threw out 2 blank scrolls and let them float in the air. Then he quickly wrote down the contents of the battle, as well as the rewards for winning or losing. He said in a clear voice, "Today, I'll have a duel with the Wang family. If I win, then the Wang family's 5 battles will belong to me. If I lose, then the 40 million spirit stones that I won and the 5 million spirit stones that I originally had will all belong to the Wang family. It's written in black and white. Now let's invite Nan Gongsheng from the Nangong family and Ma Rulong from the Ma family to be the witnesses." Lin Xian looked at the black-robed elder with the Nangong family and the Ma family as witnesses. "I don't think you have any objections, right?" The black-robed elder's face darkened. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be acquainted with the disciples of the 2 top families. He snorted and said in a deep voice, "I have no objections. If you have no objections, then let's use your blood as a witness." With that, Lin Xian pricked his fingertip and flicked a stream of blood onto the scroll. The black-robed elder also made a blood-red mark. Then the 2 scrolls fell into the hands of Nan Gongsheng and Ma Rulong. Brother Nan Gongsheng, Brother Ma, thank you. Lin Xian cupped his fists and said. Seeing this, Nan Gongsheng and Ma Rulong nodded. Then they said in a clear voice, today's duel is voluntary. No matter the outcome, I hope that both parties will abide by the agreement. If not, the Ma family and the Nangong family will be the first to hunt him down. Ma Rulong said in a clear voice. His voice could be heard clearly in all directions. The reason why he said this was because the two of them had full confidence in Lin Xian. Not long ago, they had seen Lin Xian fight against Shen Yaotian with their own eyes. His strength was definitely incomparable. Even if the Wang family sent out an old monster who had lived for hundreds of years, the two of them believed that Lin Xian would definitely win. Now, let's invite the two participants onto the stage. Hearing this, Lin Xian and the black-robed elders' figures flickered and appeared on the stage at the same time. Everyone held their breaths and watched carefully. Who do you think will win? It's hard to say. Lin Xian is currently very strong and can challenge multiple extreme spirit-detecting realm martial artists alone. However, his opponent is also an old monster who has lived for hundreds of years. His strength is unfathomable and definitely not below Lin Xian. So, it's hard to say who will win and who will lose, someone analyzed. The Wang family did not agree. They firmly believed that the black-robed elder would win, because the outcome of a battle was not just determined by cultivation strength. Experience, tactics, treasures, secret techniques, and other means could all determine the outcome of a battle. The black-robed elder had lived for hundreds of years and definitely had rich battle experience. Moreover, in terms of secret techniques and treasures, he could definitely suppress Lin Xian. So, the Wang family would definitely win this battle. This was also the reason why the black-robed elder dared to bet with Lin Xian. Chapter 606. Brat, I'll let you know that even the peak of the spirit-detecting realm has a huge gap. You will regret today's decision. The black-robed elder's voice was cold and filled with endless killing intent. There's no point in talking. Show me what you have. Lin Xian wasn't afraid. Since you're looking for death, I'll fulfill your wish. The black-robed elder sneered and pointed his finger. Streaks of abnormally ferocious deep blue finger lights, like vicious poisonous snakes, quickly streaked through the air with an endless amount of berserk power. Show. In an instant, several streaks of light appeared in the sky. They were like rainbows in the sky, causing people to tremble. As expected of a veteran expert, such terrifying power, the crowd below exclaimed. The dark blue light made them tremble. Even the peak spirit-detecting realm martial artists were shocked. Lin Xian stood in the air. The dark blue light in front of him made him feel a huge wave of pressure. It was as if a crazy wave was roaring. Lin Xian clenched his right hand into a fist. He circulated his spirit energy and quickly punched out. A dazzling golden light flashed like the sun. It was accompanied by the sound of thunder as it blasted forward. Boom, boom, boom. The golden fist and the dark blue finger energy collided in the air. Two ferocious waves of energy exploded. This little bastard is indeed terrifying. The black-robed elder's face sank. His finger seemed casual, but it contained 80% of his power. A normal peak spirit-detecting realm martial artist would die upon contact. However, Lin Xian blocked it. Even from far away, he could still feel the berserk power of the golden lightning. Humph! The show has just begun. The black-robed elder snorted, and his spirit energy surged again. The surrounding spirit energy trembled and formed a vortex that poured into the finger energy. The dark blue finger energy flashed and seemed to have turned into an unfathomable ocean. It surged in the air and released a vast amount of energy. boundless ocean. The black-robed elder circulated his spirit energy with all his might and roared. Boom! The dark blue ocean exploded and huge waves crashed against the shore. It was as if it could devour the world. Waves of energy surged toward Lin Xian at high speed. Thunder roar! Lin Xian's expression was cold. His entire body was bathed in lightning, as if he was the god of thunder. At this moment, the throbbing lightning all rushed towards the waves. The other party was a water-attributed martial artist and who could transmit electricity. Therefore, the power of his thunder and lightning could be completely transmitted through the other party's attack, thus injuring the other party's body. Lin Xian did the same. Streaks of golden lightning transformed into lightning dragons that swam through the huge waves and charged towards the black-robed old man. The black-robed elder revealed a sinister smile. He flicked his storage ring, and a wood-type armor appeared, quickly covering his entire body. The armor's grade wasn't high. It was only a mid-grade spirit rank armor, but it was the nemesis of lightning. Sure enough, the golden lightning dragon roared and bombarded the wood-type armor, but it didn't cause much damage. Ha ha ha! Brat, let's see what you're going to do. The black-robed elder laughed. He had lived for hundreds of years and was very experienced. Even before the competition, he had already thought of a way to restrain Lin Xian. Now, it was only the first step. He wanted to make Lin Xian despair and make him suffer a fate worse than death. The black-robed elder sneered. Wearing the wood-type armor, he rushed towards Lin Xian with the power of the waves. The crowd below was in an uproar. Not good. Lin Xian is actually being restrained. As expected of a veteran powerhouse, he's really powerful. Is Lin Xian finished? Not necessarily. He still has the concept of wind. The crowd discussed and watched nervously. Wood-type armor? Lin Xian looked at the black-robed elder rushing towards him and raised his eyebrows. It seemed that the other party had really put in a lot of effort to defeat him. However, he didn't only have the power of thunder and lightning. Furious wind. A crystal-clear ball of wind surged on his body and spun rapidly, forming a hurricane in the blink of an eye. The power of wind surged, and Lin Xian became extremely agile at this moment. A cool breeze blew, and Lin Xian disappeared in the air. Where is he? The crowd below was shocked. They quickly searched, but couldn't find him. The black-robed elder's face darkened. His opponent's speed made him wary. He clasped his palms together and activated the power of water. Huge waves roared around him, forming a tight defense. At the same time, water ripples spread out, forming a carpet attack that quickly spread throughout the entire space. Attacking and defending at the same time, the black-robed elder's methods were strict and decisive. Whoosh! Lin Xian's figure appeared, not far from the black-robed elder. The black-robed elder was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be so fast that he almost reached him. However, fortunately, his reaction was fast enough to make Lin Xian reveal himself. Die, brat! The black-robed elder sneered, and endless waves roared. Wind slash! Lin Xian's aura suddenly became fierce. The balls of wind rotated, forming sharp wind blades that swept in all directions. Suddenly, the sky was filled with a murderous aura, and the surrounding air was condensed. Puff, puff, puff. The wind blades that were dozens of feet long slashed horizontally, splitting the incoming waves. However, the sea was formless, and it could be hard or soft. The waves that were split quickly gathered together and rushed towards Lin Xian again. Wind move. Lin Xian's voice was calm, and his moves changed again. The wind blades disappeared, and the sky was filled with wild winds, whistling through the void. An endless gust of wind blew, blowing the waves away. Lin Xian formed a storm zone around him, and no attack could reach him. The black-robed elder's face was gloomy. The opponent's wind power was indeed difficult to break, but he was not without a way. His storage ring shone, and a green feather appeared in his hand. Since he couldn't break it, he would fight it, wind against wind. The appearance of the green feather caused the void to tremble. Even Lin Xian's wild winds were affected. Divine Bird Palace? Lin Xian frowned, and a murderous intent appeared in his eyes. He had fought with the Divine Bird Palace several times, so he was very clear about their aura. The feather in the black-robed elder's hand should be from the Divine Bird Palace. He just didn't know what the relationship between the Wang family and the Divine Bird Palace was. Kid, don't think that you're the only one who knows the power of wind, the black-robed elder snorted. I'll let you know that there's always someone better than you. Today is the day you die. Then he waved the feather in his hand, stirring up the wind and clouds. Wild winds blew, and another storm was formed, filling the sky. The green feather was very magical, and it contained a strange power of wind. Coupled with the black-robed elder's full power, it formed a terrifying scene. Kill. Resisting Lin Xian's power of wind, the black-robed old man roared angrily and charged forward. At the same time, a long saber appeared in his hand again, shining with a cold light, an upper-grade spiritual treasure. The black-robed elder was determined to kill this time, so he used an upper-grade spiritual treasure. A bright light lit up, appearing in the void like a divine light, tearing the sky apart. Then it quickly slashed towards Lin Xian. Chapter 607. The black-robed old man used his upper-grade spiritual class artifact and quickly slashed at Lin Xian. The dazzling blade light was almost 100 feet long as it whizzed down. Under that enormous saber light, Lin Xian seemed incomparably tiny. The crowd below also exclaimed. This blade light was too stunning, and it was supported by an upper-grade spiritual artifact. It was absolutely powerful. Humph, despicable brat. Go to hell. The black-robed old man looked up and laughed. He had used all his strength in this attack, and with the help of an upper-grade artifact, it was definitely enough to kill the little thief. Wind and thunder fusion. Lin Xian's black hair fluttered as he stood in the void. Two types of intent realm rotated around him, and a terrifying aura spread out. Soon, the power of wind and thunder fused, forming the power of wind and thunder. A violent and abnormal aura gushed out from Lin Xian's body like a thunderstorm, causing people's hearts to tremble. Not far away, the black-robed old man's body trembled as he sucked in a breath of cold air. He felt a shocking force pressing down on him. This force was too powerful, and it vaguely surpassed his strength. Even the 100-feet-long blade light he sent out was greatly obstructed. Wind and thunder cut. Lin Xian roared as he waved his arm. The power of wind and thunder intertwined, forming a huge blade light that quickly slashed down. Swoosh, swoosh. A beam of greenish-golden light shot out from Lin Xian's arm and landed with a loud crash. Along with it, endless gales and violent lightning instantly enveloped the entire arena. In an instant, the black-robed old man felt the terror of the power of wind and thunder. He felt the surrounding air condense, forming a huge resistance. Not only that, but the wood elemental armor on his body also cracked as if it would break at any time. This is impossible. The black-robed old man was horrified as he struggled with all his might. He did not believe that Lin Xian had such powerful strength. In fact, if it was an ordinary fusion of wind and thunder, it might not be so powerful. However, Lin Xian was different. He had not only fused the power of wind and thunder, but also two types of intent realm. In other words, the light blade contained the concepts of wind and lightning. This was too terrifying. It was absolutely not something that the black-robed old man could withstand. The huge wind and thunder light blade fell down. Wherever it passed, the green air current would move and thunder, and lightning would intertwine. The wind and thunder combined to form a terrifying aura. Not only the black-robed old man, there was probably no one present who could withstand this attack. Damn it! The black-robed old man was alarmed because the wood element armor on his body had already cracked, and the power of wind and thunder had drilled into his body, causing his entire body to go numb. Even the circulation of the spiritual energy in his body had slowed down and even showed signs of stopping. If it was any other time, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, they were in the middle of a battle right now. The slightest mistake could lead to a huge change in the situation. Lin Xian was also a seasoned veteran. Naturally, he would not let go of such an opportunity. With a wave of his hand, a huge wind lightning palm shot out. It was like a huge mountain moving in the air. The black-robed old man's face was ferocious. He roared and circulated the spiritual energy in his body with all his might, wanting to escape. In the end, he even cruelly burned his spiritual energy, erupting with a temporary burst of hidden power and finally breaking free from the control of the wind and thunder. The wind lightning palm fell, shattering most of the stage. A terrifying hole appeared in the ground, so deep that the bottom could not be seen. Even the surrounding defensive light barrier was on the verge of collapse, as if it could not withstand it. This palm was too terrifying. If a peak spirit detecting martial artist was hit by it, their body and soul would definitely be destroyed. The black-robed old man fled, his body covered in cold sweat. Fortunately, he did not care about the cost at the last moment and burned his spiritual energy to escape. Then he looked at Lin Xian, his eyes filled with dread. Although the youth in front of him was young, his strength was not weaker than his. Even his battle experience was very rich. This kind of person could be called a battle genius. He sighed. If only his Wang family had such a genius. However, now was not the time to sigh. He would not let Lin Xian win. He took out a blood-colored pill the size of a longan fruit from his storage ring and quickly swallowed it. Kid, I admit that you are very strong. But let's end this. The black-robed old man's voice trembled, and there was even a trace of pain. Finally, he roared into the sky. His black robe suddenly split open, and a layer of blood-red light covered his body. What followed was a shocking aura. Demon blood pill. I didn't think that the elder would be forced to this step. The Wang family disciples were shocked. They knew that this was the black-robed old man's final trump card. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he would not use it. Although this secret technique was powerful, it also caused great damage to the body. Once the effect of the pill wore off, the martial artist's combat strength would be halved for the next 3 months, and they would suffer great pain. If it was not handled well, it would leave behind hidden injuries that would affect the martial artist's future. Under normal circumstances, the black-robed old man would not use it. However, he had used it today, which meant that he was forced into a desperate situation. After consuming the demon blood pill, the black-robed old man's body began to change. His originally skinny body was rapidly growing. Layers of fine scales even appeared on his skin, making him look ferocious and terrifying. I know this is a demon blood pill, and it's the blood of an armored berserk ape, a martial artist exclaimed. The Sky martial region was prosperous, and martial artists pursued strength. They developed a type of pill that fused the blood of a demon beast into the pill. After a martial artist consumed it, there would be a temporary surge in combat strength. The pill in the black-robed old man's hand was a demon blood pill, and it was the blood of an armored berserk ape. The armored berserk ape was an extremely powerful demon beast, and its strength was even stronger than a martial artist at the limit of the spirit-detecting realm. Furthermore, this demon beast's defense was extremely strong, and it could be said to be the king of close combat. At this moment, after the black-robed old man consumed the demon blood pill, his entire body became abnormally ferocious. His body was filled with a terrifying power, and there was also a dense demonic aura. On his body, there was a layer of cold scales that flickered with a cold light like cold steel. Whoosh! The black-robed old man took a step forward and instantly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Lin Xian. Boom! The demonic palm waved and grabbed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted and used the golden lightning body, and at the same time, he used the wind lightning palm. Boom! Boom! Lin Xian and the black-robed old man's palms collided, and a surge of power crashed into each other. The two of them both took a step back, and a terrifying black hole appeared between them. It was a shocking sight. An abnormally powerful force tore apart the power of wind and lightning and attacked Lin Xian's arm. Lin Xian's body once again surged with the power of wind and lightning, and only then did he neutralize it. What a powerful force to be able to break through the power of wind and lightning. Lin Xian was moved. It seemed that the power of the demon blood pill was above his expectations. However, in the next moment, his face turned ugly. This was because his golden lightning body had been broken. Chapter 608. The power of the demon blood pill exceeded Lin Xian's expectations. After the black-robed elder consumed it, he was able to tear apart Lin Xian's golden lightning body. One had to know that the golden lightning body was extremely powerful. Up until now, only Shen Yaotian had managed to break it. Now, it was broken once again. However, this situation caused the Wang family disciples to exclaim in surprise. Many of them cried out in excitement. Previously, they had been suppressed by Lin Xian for too long. Now, they could finally hold their heads high. Although it was an injury caused by an elder who consumed a pill, at least they had done it. The other warriors were also shocked. This was the first time someone had broken through Lin Xian's defense. This meant that the black-robed elder was likely to injure Lin Xian in the next few days, as expected of an elder. He's indeed sharp. The demon blood pill is so powerful. It can actually raise one's combat strength by so much. Everyone exclaimed. Lin Xian frowned. From the previous attack, the black-robed elder's attack had at least doubled. It seemed like he had to be serious and stop playing around. Ha ha ha! Kid, prepare to die. The black-robed elder laughed sinisterly. He was like a monster. His body was terrifying, and his appearance was terrifying. When he laughed, it was even more terrifying. His originally withered arm became huge. His palm was covered with scales, and there were long nails that shone with a cold light like daggers. Although you're neither human nor ghost, I have to admit that you've become stronger. You're worthy of me taking you seriously, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. What? Take him seriously? Everyone was stunned. They did not understand what Lin Xian meant. Could it be that he was just playing around? Everyone could not believe it. Of course, more people thought that Lin Xian was bragging, especially the disciples of the Wang clan, who booed him. Humph, kid. You're still so stubborn even when you're about to die. The black-robed elder snorted. No matter what you say, it won't change your fate. Streaks of blood-red light appeared on his claws. Its power was terrifying. You'll find out soon enough whether or not I'm being stubborn. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He slid his hand to his storage belt and a black scabbard appeared. Sword, everyone exclaimed, and the black-robed old man frowned. Brat, don't think that you can scare me with that sword. To tell you the truth, in my current state, even if you use a high-grade spirit-ranked artifact, you won't be able to break through my defense. The black-robed old man sneered, his expression filled with disdain. However, Lin Xian didn't have any reaction. He held the Wind Shadow sword, and his entire body changed. At this moment, he became abnormally fierce, like a divine sword that had been unsheathed, unstoppable. With the sword in hand, Lin Xian's aura rose to the peak. He was like a mountain that stood above the 9 heavens. The black-robed elder's expression finally changed. This aura was enough to threaten him. Die. The black-robed elder suddenly attacked. He wouldn't let Lin Xian's aura continue to grow. Streaks of blood-red murderous aura jumped and rotated in front of him, forming a huge beast claw. Puff, puff, puff. Under the activation of the secret technique, the beast claw's power increased greatly. It was ferocious and terrifying, as if it was real. It quickly grabbed at Lin Xian. The black-robed elder exerted his strength to the extreme in this attack. Whoosh! Lin Xian activated his sword intent. The Wind Shadow sword turned illusory in front of him and slashed forward. A streak of sword light lit up like an aurora in the sky. It was extremely dazzling. In the end, the entire sky lost its color, and only the sword light was left under the sky. No! The black-robed elder was enveloped by the sword light, and fear appeared in his eyes. At this moment, he roared unwillingly as if he had encountered something terrifying and wanted to escape. However, his voice soon stopped, and so did his demonic beast body. In the void, the black-robed elder's body trembled slightly. His face was still filled with fear, but blood was flowing out from between his eyebrows. In the end, his entire body split in half. Puff! Blood splattered everywhere and exploded in the air. No, impossible. Elder! The group was stunned, and the Wang family disciples were even more terrified. The black-robed elder, who had been so majestic just a moment ago, was now split into 2 halves. He couldn't be more dead. The contrast between before and after was simply too great. Everyone was in disbelief. Indeed, the demonic beast black-robed elder was very powerful. He even suppressed Lin Xian for a while. However, everything changed when Lin Xian took out his sword. One move. With just one move, he killed the powerful black-robed elder. This kind of strength could no longer be described by the word terrifying. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. Even Marulong and the others were shocked. That sword strike just now made him feel a sense of apprehension, putting away the Wind Shadow sword. Lin Xian looked at the Wang family disciples. The outcome has been decided. From now on, this arena belongs to me. Lin Xian's voice echoed in the void. His voice was filled with dominance. The Wang family disciples were in despair. They shouted, "Elder! Supremacy! Elder!" However, no one responded to them. In fact, even if the supremacy came out, it would be useless because someone would definitely jump out to stop him. The Wang family supremacy probably knew that too, so he did not come out. However, he still spoke up in the end. After all, losing the arena was such a big deal that ordinary disciples could not make the decision. Good, very good. The Wang family supremacy said coldly, "Kid, this won't end just like that. The Wang family will accompany you to the end. Now, everyone, leave this place and return to the family," the supremacy said. Immediately, all the Wang family disciples left with gloomy expressions. They were like stray dogs. Lin Xian was not afraid of the supremacy's threat at all. Now that his cultivation had broken through and he had obtained the Red Lotus armor, his strength had increased greatly. In the past, he could escape from the supremacy, let alone now. Therefore, Lin Xian calmly took over the Wang family's martial arts arena. Everyone was shocked. The change of ownership of the Wang family's martial arts arena was definitely a big deal in Quicksand City. They believed that it would not be long before Lin Xian became famous in Quicksand City. Brother Lin, congratulations. Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong congratulated. Thank you. Lin Xian smiled. I wonder if the two of you are interested in running this martial arts arena together? Hearing this, Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong were stunned. Then they were pleasantly surprised. Brother Lin, is what you said true? Of course. In fact, I'm not familiar with the martial arts arena. My main goal was to destroy the Wang family's martial arts arena, and I've already done that. Indeed, Lin Xian was not good at running a business, and it was impossible for him to stay in Quicksand City for a long time. It was better to partner with Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong. This way, not only could he ensure the martial arts arena's normal operation, but he could also get two powerful assistants. It was killing two birds with one stone. Moreover, the martial arts arena's income was not small. In the future, he might even be able to contribute to the search for materials for the Red Lotus armor. Lin Xian was thinking very far ahead. At the very least, he had to make the Red Lotus armor, no matter how difficult it was. Chapter 609. Lin Xian invited the Nan Gongseng duo to join him, and they quickly agreed. Therefore, the handover procedures were all handed over to Nan Gongseng. He was familiar with these things anyway, and he liked doing it. Nan Gongseng was too excited. Although he was a disciple of the Nangong family, it was impossible for him to own an arena. With his current situation, it would be good enough if he could become an elder of an arena in a few decades. Now, however, he had the opportunity to own his own arena. Although he was partnered with Lin Xian, he was still the owner. This was something he would never have dared to imagine in the past. The Wang family's arena was not bad. It was a medium-sized arena and had a certain reputation in Quicksand City. With his talent, if it was developed well, it was very likely that the arena would improve. By then, his status would rise again. Perhaps only the top geniuses in the family could compete with him in the future. As for the venerable ones, Ma Rulong would take care of it. The Ma family's venerable ones from before was his great-grandfather, so he could totally invite them. The three of them discussed and felt that there was not much of a problem. Then let's call it the Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena. What do you think? Lin Xian asked. All right. Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong agreed. I must make the Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena No. 1 in Quicksand City. Nan Gongseng was full of ambition. The news of the Wang family's arena-changing owners was like a gust of wind, quickly sweeping through the entire Quicksand City. Instantly, everyone was shocked. They did not expect the dignified Wang family's arena to fall in the hands of a young man. This was too unbelievable. Of course, while everyone was shocked, there were also people who were furious. In Blackwood Fort, Blackwood Mountain's face was ashen. He originally wanted to send people to help the Wang family suppress Lin Xian, but he did not expect that before he could do anything, the other party had already taken over the Wang family's arena. Trash! The Wang family is really trash. Blackwood Mountain roared angrily. Damn thief, I won't let you accept it so easily. Blackwood Mountain's face was ferocious. He decided to use some means to destroy the arena that Lin Xian took over. However, the following news made him tremble in anger, and he stood rooted to the ground. This was because he received news that the Wang family's arena had officially changed its name to the Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena. At the same time, Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong had joined, and the three of them would be in charge of the arena. At the same time, the Venerable Ones would appear. At the same time, there was also news that there would be venerables overseeing them. Every piece of news was like a heavy bomb that knocked Blackwood Mountain unconscious. It wasn't just him, but many other influences of Quicksand City were shocked. They hadn't thought that these three youths would be so quick to complete the mission in such a short time. Half a month was half. Under the management of Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong, the Divine Dragon Pavilion's martial arts arena was developing rapidly. On the other hand, Lin Xian, the major shareholder, was hiding in a quiet courtyard to cultivate. To him, the Colosseum was just an accessory. What he truly cared about was the path of martial arts. The power of an ultimate powerhouse was what he was after. After half a month of silence, Quicksand City was bustling again. The city lord was celebrating his 300th birthday. Quicksand City belonged to the Sand Country. Although the aristocratic families in the city were powerful, they were still ruled by the city lord in name. Therefore, all the forces in the city returned for the city lord's birthday. The Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena had also received an invitation to the birthday banquet. Nan Gongseng and Ma Rulong came to Lin Xian's courtyard to discuss countermeasures. In the past, they would attend such important events as disciples. However, it was different this time. They would be attending as the arena's managers. It could be said that their identities had changed greatly. What do we need to pay attention to? Lin Xian asked. Martial arts battles are prevalent in Quicksand City. Therefore, we might be challenged at the birthday banquet. After all, the Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena has just been established. Someone will definitely step in. This was what Nan Gongseng was most worried about. The birthday banquet was of a high standard. All the major forces in the city had returned. The genius warriors of each family would also attend. Those disciples were very powerful. The Wang family could not be compared to them. Many of them were stronger than the Wang family's black-robed old man. They were exceptionally powerful. Therefore, they had to be careful. If there is a challenge, I'll leave it to you. Anyway, I can't help. Nan Gongseng sighed. Don't worry. I'll take on all of them. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Even if it's the Sand Region's prodigies, I'll help you stop them. His cultivation had improved a lot over the past few days. Therefore, he was very confident. There's no need for the prodigies. I don't think those perverts will go. However, you must stop the others. Nan Gongseng said, I want everyone to know how powerful the Divine Dragon Pavilion Arena is. The city lord's birthday banquet was set for 10 days later. During this period, everyone had been preparing gifts. This had stumped Nan Gongseng. He had picked many gifts, but he was not satisfied. They were either too expensive and they could not afford it. Otherwise, they were too poor and they could not afford it. In the end, he had no choice but to ask Lin Xian for help. According to him, it would be great if he could find a precious spiritual grass. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at him. Do you think a 1,000-year-old spiritual herb is a cabbage? Although he still had it in his storage belt, he would not take it out. Nan Gongseng was a little disappointed. At that moment, the snow-white monkey suddenly jumped out. It was holding a peach of immortality and eating it nonstop. The peach of immortality was very strange. It was wrapped in a ball of spiritual energy. The moment it was taken out, the entire air was filled with spirituality. Nan Gongseng's eyes were wide open. He had never seen such a strange, spiritual fruit. It seemed that it was a peerless treasure. Even supremacies would be jealous if they saw it. However, it was being eaten by a monkey so casually. For a moment, Nan Gongseng was stunned. The snow-white monkey's big eyes narrowed into crescents. It quickly finished eating, threw the peach pit on the ground, and burped, "Damn you, little brat. That's a 1,000-year-old peach of immortality. Its pit is also a rare treasure. How dare you throw it away?" A dark red snake suddenly slithered out and roared with an exasperated expression, "If you don't want it, you can give it to Ben Huang." Nan Gongseng's eyes widened. What did he just see? A talking snake? Slap. He slapped himself twice and realized that he was not dreaming. The Crimson Dragon looked at him strangely and howled, "Is this kid stupid? How dare he slap himself? Ha ha!" This voice woke Nan Gongseng up. He suddenly remembered the Rizalong's words. Then he quickly looked to the ground. If that was really a 1,000-year-old peach of immortality, its pit must be a treasure. Soon he saw the pit on the ground. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's heart burned with anger. He abruptly turned around and reached out with his soul to search the surroundings. "You are indeed worthy of being called a genius warrior. You were actually able to dodge my attack. Interesting." A slightly mocking voice was heard. Immediately after, a figure appeared in Lin Xian's field of vision. Not far away, a middle-aged man stood with a gloomy expression. At this moment, he was playing with a crescent-shaped flying knife in his hand. This middle-aged man stood in the middle of the road, blocking Lin Xian's path. "You finally came out. I've been waiting for you for a long time." The middle-aged man's expression was cold, and his voice was slightly hoarse. "Waiting for me?" Lin Xian frowned. "What's the matter?" "Naturally, it's to kill you." "Kill me? I'm afraid you don't have the ability." "I know you are very strong, but people stronger than you have died at my hands, so I'm confident." The middle-aged man was very confident. Lin Xian frowned. With his warrior's instincts, he could feel a sinister aura coming from the middle-aged man in front of him. This aura was abnormally terrifying. It was even more terrifying than the black-robed old man who had consumed the demon blood pill. The other party must be an extremely terrifying figure. "I don't have time to waste with you. Scram or die." Lin Xian's voice was cold. He really didn't have time now because he had to attend the city lord's birthday banquet. "Ha ha! You are indeed as arrogant as the rumors say." The middle-aged man laughed. "I know where you want to go, but don't even think about it. You won't be going anywhere today." With that, the middle-aged man stomped on the ground. The ground under his feet quickly trembled like a wave that spread out in all directions. In the next moment, the surroundings changed drastically. A dark and gloomy forest appeared, replacing the houses and streets from before. "This is an illusion array?" Lin Xian frowned. His expression was filled with caution. The middle-aged man in front of him was too strange. He had to be careful. "Illusion array?" The middle-aged man sneered. "You can think of it that way, but I prefer to call it the assassination forest." Before he finished speaking, the middle-aged man's figure had already disappeared, completely blending into the dark forest. Whoosh! A dark and gloomy light flew out from the forest and shot towards Lin Xian's back. This attack was soundless, and even the light had disappeared. Lin Xian only sensed it when the flying knife approached. His expression was gloomy as he quickly dodged. "Who sent you?" He always had a bad feeling. This middle-aged man's strength was beyond imagination, and his methods were very strange. It belonged to the Tao of assassination. "Ha ha ha! Are you afraid?" A fleeting voice came from all around. "The moment you die, I will tell you." "Afraid?" "Humph!" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I still don't know what fear is." Subsequently, Lin Xian used the concept of wind. A ball of sparkling and translucent wind appeared and revolved around him. Although he still didn't understand the situation around him, with the concept of wind, he could probably block the attack of the hidden weapon. The concept of wind is indeed a good method. However, it's useless. With this voice, the surroundings became silent again. Lin Xian looked around cautiously. Suddenly, his body swayed and shot into the air. The ground where he was originally standing cracked open, and a cold light shot out, shattering the void. That was close. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Not bad. It's really fun. The middle-aged man's figure appeared again. He was like a cloud, floating on the leaves. Kid, this shouldn't be an illusion array, but a very strange space. Be careful, the Crimson Dragon warned. It's not an illusion array. Lin Xian was vigilant. He then nodded and summoned the Snow-White Monkey. Although this middle-aged man's attacks were strange. The frequency of his attacks was not dense. It could be that the opponent wanted to toy with him. There was another possibility, and that was to stall for time. After all, today was the City Lord's birthday banquet, and he was also invited. If he was late, he was afraid that the City Lord would be unhappy. At that time, the other hostile forces would add fuel to the fire, and it was very likely that they would destroy the arena that he had just won. Perhaps this was the real goal of those people. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.